the strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright, guys. Alright. So, boy, it's going to be an interesting day. I know Fridays are normally our lowest viewing days because of just everybody has shit to do on Thursdays. But holy shit, the news is absolutely insane today. So I've gone through and I've taken a few screenshots. Let's just make sure I've got everything that I need for the news. Oh, that's one thing. Body cam footage. Alright. Cam footage. Shows moments after Justine. Alright. Was it news.com.au? 9 News has it apparently. News. I'm sorry, just 9news.com.au. Right, okay, so we have this as well, which is what I want to put in the trailer more than anything, but alright. Okay, we're going to deal with that later. We've got Assange we want to deal with. So, yeah, it is absolutely crazy news day, guys. Absolutely crazy. Right. Alright, let's jump into it. So, obviously, guys, everything will be uploaded later. Hopefully sooner than I did it yesterday because some idiot forgot to hit the button. I don't know, Sat. I haven't checked, man. So, yeah, I don't know. I actually should probably check. I don't think the MEP elections are over, are they? Okay, no, there's a full list. Here we go. So we do have this list. Right, let's start with that, I suppose. Oops, wrong screen. Carl. He's on the list. Oh, so that's the candidates. All right. So that's the candidates. I got a little ahead of myself there. I thought he might have actually won. Results, maybe? It looks like it's still going. So, Carl Benjamin. He is running in UKIP for Southwest. So, yeah, it looks like we haven't got any results yet. UK European election results. Here we go. Maybe. So UK Independence Party has 24 MEPs. Labour's 120. Conservatives are 119. Holy shit, the UKIP coined out, man. Guys, we have the... oh, hang on, no, hang on. That's 2014. Shit. God damn it. Damn it, wrong one. When did we... Here we are. When did we find out election results? The polls place on Thursday, right? Voters in Ireland turn out on Friday. Those in Czech Republic, Slovenia on Saturday, sorry. Remaining 21 motions casted on the 26th. The results for every nation will be released on the evening of May 26th, after the last polling station is closed. So it looks like we get them all on the same day. Yeah, I've seen that you actually update, actually. I'm in chat if you want to jump in. If you want to jump in the show, if you can, or if you're busy, whatever, let us know. Where's that article? Is that the same one I've got? No, okay, that's actually a new article too. I'll have a look at that one too. Copy link address. Go to site, yeah. Alright. Panasonic. Voter finds, hides backdoor, and yeah, okay. Cool. Alright, so as for the vote for the European election, we will not find out until probably Monday. So yeah, after all of the votes have been casted. They'll give them sufficient time to go through and try and vote rig it. So it says here, after the results on evening on the May 26th. So that'll be on our 27th. So we might do a Monday show, maybe? Depending on the results, maybe? So, yeah. Well, obviously, guys, we will keep up to date on that. And good luck to Carl Benjamin, Tommy Robinson, even Nigel Perez. I hope he wins as well. I hope everybody does well. All right, so let's kick it off. Let's talk with Assange, because this is quite concerning. Hello, everybody. How are we all? Sorry for the little post-show. We're just talking about the UKIP elections. So, like I say, guys, obviously we'll find out on the 26th. So, on our 27th, we might do a show on the Monday and cover all that. So, yeah, hopefully that'll go through. All right. Apart from that, let's jump into the news because there is a shit ton of stuff to do. Boo! Oh, hello. How are you? Oops, I gotta unmute myself. Oh, I'm such a boomer. Hello, Betty. How are you?
Hello. You got me.
Yep. Hang on a sec. Jesus Christ.
Interview?
Well, yeah. Sorry, guys. All right. So, freaking phone. All right. So, yeah. I told him I was on an interview, and I'm technically interviewing, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
You've got me unmuted for the show too?
Yeah, they can hear you. They could have heard you the whole time. Yeah. I'm not that much of a boomer today. All right, guys. How are we all? Sorry?
Oh, yeah. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I can't speak for the other audience.
Yeah. I'm good.
I'm tired.
You're tired?
I'm very, very tired. I thought about it. You say, "I'll come on the show." I'm like, do I not? I'm so tired. But I'll try to stay lively through the show.
Okay. Well, if you fall asleep, we'll send like a real annoying screech through the headset. It's probably going to be AOC's voice.
Oh God.
That'll wake you up. But look, yeah, I don't want to. Sorry.
I did just watch that Al Jazeera did a thing just today on the highway thing.
Yeah.
So I got that story for you. I know it's from April, but I mean, no one's heard of that story. Like, no one talks about Vodafone finding that except for Al Jazeera, which is odd. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I
the highway
we might cover that story.
Yeah, the highway thing is a little weird. It's a little. Yeah, it's getting a little weird that they're going after highway. I wonder if there's alternative matter. But let's jump into it because we've got a lot of news to cover today. You're getting tired. I've got to go and do some jackhammering. And that's not an excuse for anything else, by the way. I actually have to do jackhammering. And
You're going to jackhammer a nice lady, are you?
No. I'm ripping up my kitchen.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, when I say I actually am jackhammering, I'm actually jackhammering right now. And I'm halfway through planning kitchens, ripping out old ones. It's yeah, like, it's not like I have a lot to do. Hey, Trip, how are you today, buddy? But let's jump into it.
Hello, Trip.
Yeah, and let's go through and let's cover some of this news because, well, Julian Assange, he's been hit with Espionage Act violations as DOJ unveils 17 new charges. When he said that he didn't want to get extradited back to America because they were going to try and go for him for the Espionage Act, and everybody laughed and said he was being paranoid, can we say now that he wasn't being paranoid? Like, this is his worst fear.
I think so.
Yeah, this is what he was worried about.
Act is very serious.
Yeah,
very serious.
I don't know if they're going to have any luck doing this. I really don't think this Espionage Act is going to work. I don't even think the deep state is going to be able to pull this one off. But let's go through and let's have a look at it, and we'll see what they're up to. So, worst fears for Julian Assange's legal team have been realised. Just as WikiLeaks editor-in-chief anticipated, the DOJ has revealed a grand jury in Virginia has returned 18 new counts succeeding indictment against Julian Assange. You know, that grand jury that we weren't supposed to know about, that accidentally got leaked and that we knew about and that we've been reporting on. But don't worry, they don't have a grand jury against him or anything, you know. No. Anyway. That includes the Espionage Act stemming from his role in publishing the classified documents leaked by Chelsea Manning, as well as his original charge of conspiracy to break into a government computer. The DOJ said with the indictment that Assange will face a maximum of 10 years for each of the 17 Espionage Act violations, plus the 5-year penalty for his earlier hacking charge.
Is that 170 years?
175 years.
Okay.
Yeah. They're really pissed off at him, aren't they? In addition to significantly raising the punishment threshold for a maximum of 5.5 years under the previous indictment for the prospect of death, sentencing and violating the Espionage Act, the new charges will raise a series of First Amendment issues, which is where I want to go with this, and Assange will become the first journalist charged under the Espionage Act. Good luck with that. Literally good luck with that. Yeah. Although it's not guaranteed, Espionage Act violations have in the past carried the prospect of a death sentence. Although Assange's specific violations will likely spare him the possibility of such a fate, the full context of the Espionage Act of 1917 has been used to convicted suspected spies. Most famously, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. The Rosenbergs were famously put to death by the electric chair in 1953. So the quote is, the Justice Department's decision to pursue Espionage Act charges signals a dramatic escalation under President Trump to crack down on leaks of classified information and aims squarely at First Amendment protections for all journalists. Most recently, law enforcement officers charged a former intelligence analyst with giving classified documents to The Intercept, a nation security news website. Legal scholars believe that the prosecution reporting over their work would violate the First Amendment, but the prospect has not yet been tested in court because the government had never charged a journalist under the Espionage Act. Although he is not a conventional journalist, much of what Julian Assange does at WikiLeaks is difficult to distinguish in legal, meaningful way from what traditional news organizations like the New York Times do. Seek and publish information that officials want to be secret, including classified national security matters, take steps and protect the confidentiality of sources. Don't feel bad about none. Watching YouTube screwing with the algorithm again. Noon. I don't understand. Who's screwing with the algorithm there, Mr. News? Okay, so before we get it, alright, so let's just break that down. Right. Julian Assange is a journalist.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, he is, yeah. So at the end of the day, he is protected under the First Amendment rights for protection of the press. Right.
In America, yes, but not the rest of the world.
Yes. But it's the Americans that are going after him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I'm surprised Australia doesn't, but then I guess he's never really done anything horrible to us.
Ah, no, true. But at the end of the day, any other country that goes after a journalist like this would be devastating for any re-election campaign. Right? So, okay, so these 17 charges, they include espionage, right? So what are the full list of charges that he's going to get done? So, they are claiming gathering of transmitting or losing defense information. Right, so that's the charge of espionage. Right. I don't think they're going to be able to pull this off. I really don't think they're going to be able to get him on espionage. I think the court is going to come back. Even the deep state is not going to be able to pull this off. Like, if they pull this off, that is going to be some frigging kangaroo court they've got. What do you reckon?
So when I say that Assange is mostly a journalist, that is true. But are there proven times when he's actually gotten involved in the gathering of the news?
The only thing they can link to is the computer hacking, him trying to crack the password.
Do journalists normally do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I imagine the journalists have tried to do that sort of stuff. Like, he didn't try and actually hack into anything. He tried to decipher from a password hash. So,
yeah, he was trying to do that. Supposedly, allegedly. I don't know, yeah. It's interesting.
Like, I really don't think they're going to be able to get him for this. Like, I think this is way overreaching.
Yeah, I would say it is an overreach. I don't think he's done espionage.
No.
Like, if someone else... Because someone else brought him that information. So the espionage would be the person who brought him the information.
Chelsea Manning, stuff like that. And not to throw Chelsea Manning under the bus, but Chelsea Manning would have been the person who has done the espionage, if anybody.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Chelsea Manning would be the one that you'd go after the Espionage Act.
Yeah.
And then I guess, what do you charge Assange with?
Well, you could charge him with hacking, but that's about it. That's all you can really charge him with.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, if they go after Assange, technically then they can go after CNN. CNN ran the WikiLeaks on national TV.
Oh, yeah. But remember, there's one rule for me and one rule for thee.
Well, yeah, and then this is, well, I don't know. I think that if Assange was charged with Espionage Act, right, there's going to be a freaking riot. Let alone the fact that then if they don't go after CNN or whatever, it's going to show the deep state for who they really are. Like, everybody knows the deep state's behind this, right? But at the end of the day, they're still trying to play it coy in the fact that, it's like, well, he was... It's like, no, you're going after him because he blasted your secrets all over the internet. He made you look like a bunch of chumps. Like...
Pretty much.
Yeah. So... And this is the thing, like I said... CNN ran these stories. What is the difference between WikiLeaks running the stories and CNN doing it? There's absolutely no difference.
Yeah. Well, I suppose one difference was that, according to CNN, it was illegal for you and I to go there.
But that was a load of crap.
They were able to go through... Yeah, I know that. They were able to go through it and bring you what was important.
Yeah, but they were going to give you the filtered version of this, yeah.
I don't think Assange can... I don't think he can be charged with anything in reality, but I think they want to put him up on a pike as a warning to everyone else not to do this again. They want to make an example.
Make an example out of him.
Yeah.
And
how many times in history has this happened to people who want to expose the truth?
Yeah, but we didn't have alternative media back then.
Well, yeah, true. You had underground media, things like that.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
So, per the New York Times, the Obama administration considered bringing the Espionage Act against Assange, but backed because it didn't want to raise the First Amendment issue. While WikiLeaks While WikiLeaks had warned of this possibility, they suspected the US would wait until Assange was on American soil before bringing the Espionage Act related charges, since they would carry a much more severe penalty. WikiLeaks said the new charges are madness and that this would be the end of the national security journalism. So remember the UK and Ecuador promising that no serious harm would befall Julian Assange. Assange wouldn't be put to death or face the possibility of rotting in prison for the rest of his life. Whether these new charges will help or hurt Assange's chances of successfully beating extradition remains to be seen. So they're going after him for one count to conspiracy to receive national defense information, obtaining national defense information for 2 counts, 2 counts of obtaining national defense information, 2 counts of disclosure of national defense information, 2 counts of disclosure of national defense information, 2 counts of disclosure of national defense information, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. So, yeah. There's the documents there for anybody that wants to see. I think this is insane. I think this is absolutely insane. There's no way they're going to be able to pull this off. This is going to go so bad for them that they have no idea how bad this is going to go. If like every journalist, every company out there that has covered these WikiLeaks is now going to be liable for this. Like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, 7 News here in Australia, 9 News in Australia, everybody that talked or showed the WikiLeaks, technically, according to this, can be charged. And this, not only is this going to hopefully make the rest of the media wake up to themselves to sort of stick up for Julian Assange a little bit, but, you know, hopefully they'll go through and sort of, you know, put pressure on the... And I don't think Trump is going to allow Assange to rot in prison either. I reckon he'll pardon him. Have you heard
I don't have that same faith as you. I don't believe that Trump is going to do the right thing here now.
It'll kill his election campaign if he doesn't.
Do you think that his base actually care that much? Or,
yeah, I do.
Wouldn't it be a very, very tiny minority of people in general that at all care about Assange?
So if Trump goes after Julian, right? Think of the YouTubers that are going to make videos about it, right? Ben Shapiro is going to talk about it. Jimmy Dore is going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it.
They support him, Jimmy Dore and Ben Shapiro.
No, but there is crossover. Ben Shapiro does, but Jimmy Dore has a bit of crossover from some of us on the conservative side because he's anti-establishment and whatnot, right? You're also going to have like Mark Dice, Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars. They're going to all, hopefully, they'll bat for Julian Assange. Then you're going to get the YouTubers like, for example, Phil DeFranco. He would hopefully bat for Julian Assange. Like, it's probably going to be easier to list the YouTubers who don't go through and make a video going on about how much this is a load of bullshit. Right?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I wouldn't like to see a precedent for a journalist getting espionage for journalist activities.
No,
because it would have a chilling effect. I mean, you might not see journalists from the mainstream media get done for what they covered, you know, in retrospect, but it'll have a chilling effect moving forward. Yeah, and maybe that's what they want, though. You know, maybe that's one of the things they want. Like, even though you know, people call it the Clinton News Network, At the end of the day, a lot of these people are still under their own control. You know, it's the government's wet dream to have the media completely under their thumb, like the Chinese government has with their media. You know.
Well, this is the thing, right? When we call CNN the Clinton News Network, that was just basically because of that election campaign. The fact is that CNN is deep state. If there was, like for example, over in America in the politics that's running at the moment, the U.S. election, I can tell you now. I can tell you who the Democratic nominee that's going to win, and I believe I told you this 3 months ago. It's going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be Joe Biden versus Trump.
That'd be funny.
Sleepy Joe.
Creepy Joe.
Creepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe or Creepy Joe? Yeah.
Creepy Joe, yeah.
By the way, that's a Trump thing to put these labels on his opposition.
Yeah.
These little catchphrases.
Yeah, because it works.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Mm.
But you know, the thing
Joe
too
Biden is deep state.
Exactly.
Mm.
One of the things that you also have to be worried about is in the future when you have a social credit system like they do in China now. These journalists are part of the citizenry, and it will have an effect on their social credit score to publish anything that is against the state. You know, it's not just worrying about getting taken out by the government, but just they may not even have to do that. They'll just start to kill your social credit score. Now in America, wouldn't we possibly see this too anyway? Like whether or not they go after Julian Assange, is it really that important? At the end of the day, in the future, social credit scores are going to drop when you do bad things against the state.
Yeah, but the mainstream media at the moment, as it is, for example, don't go against the deep state anyway. They're infiltrated by the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
So when this new credit system comes through, it's still going to be business as usual, because at the end of the day, it's well, they're not going to change anything that they're already doing.
But you'll run afoul. You won't just run afoul of the deep state. You would also run afoul of the mob, the online mob. You know, the hard left social media companies.
Yeah, well, the credit score system, like China's got, that's run by the government.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the private sector running it in the West.
I don't think so.
Well,
I think it's going
at
to be government.
Well, actually, consider this. It's, for example, it's the people who are running Facebook and Twitter are the ones who are now launching their own payment processors. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be the private sector that's taking over your ability to function in the West. I mean, a lot of people don't like Laura Loomer that much, but let's just have a bit of I don't know. I feel very, very sorry for her because she's only 25 years old.
Yeah.
And she's already unable to operate in any conceivable way. She can't even get an Uber. I mean, the banks, Chase Bank, are banning people. So, yeah, and if they start launching social credit scores, which they kind of have one in a way, they got these lists of people in the back end of Facebook, for example.
Yeah.
And if you get banned off of Facebook, you can't use Messenger. So you can receive the messages, but you can't reply. That honestly feels like they're punishing you by letting your friends contact you, but you can't reply.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you can't use your payment system to go to the shops and get toilet paper? Well, you have to stink because you can't, wipe your own butt.
Yeah.
So what's next, And I think this comes around to this idea that Julian Assange is only the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, think about all these other things I'm mentioning because the future is not bright, my friend.
No, I know. It's why we're fighting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I just had a huge fight with my mum and dad because, the dad turned around and I said, I've got to go, I've got to do the show. Dad said, well, go and play on your computer. And I lost it because I said to him, we're not playing on the computer, Dad. We're trying to fucking save the world. It's why we're doing this, But it might be, two idiots sitting in their houses, prospectively, you and me, both, of course, and talking on a live stream right now. But this is going out to the internet. There's, we have stories that have had 150,000 views. Like we've had some big stories break, and we were some of this channel has been some of the tip of the spear when it comes to breaking these stories. Josie Smollett. We called it before anybody else.
Yeah, the only thing is the reach.
Yeah.
That's a black pill for me.
Yeah.
That normally we are low double digits or single digits most of the time, and then some of the stories only get a few hundred views. Like you said, you've had a few go over 100K, I think. But that's rare, and yeah, it's a black pill to consider that the reach is so small. I actually thought it was also kind of sad to see that Sargon, his videos, that he has nearly 1 million subscribers, but his percentage in views is quite low comparably.
Yeah, because they're squashing everybody.
Throttling his channel.
Yeah,
they're throttling his channel so much. So
I have a plan. I have a plan to solve this problem, and it's going to send a shockwave through the internet. Have you seen Nonpartisan Media website lately?
No, I haven't.
Have you got the live stream up on your screen?
No, I do not.
No, okay. So what I have at the moment is I have a website that goes through, and it's a prototype. Like I've always said to you, when I do things, I'm normally 5 or 10 steps ahead, right? What I did was I went through and made a website that automatically puts my videos up on a website that they can't control, which will link back to my YouTube channel. So, for example, you type in Google Julian Assange, you now have a better chance of this video coming up because it is linked from an external source, right? What if
you're using SEO?
Yes, I am. I don't know how well off the SEO is at the moment. I've still got to work all that sort of stuff out. But yes, the add-on is there for that as well. Imagine someone now going through and adding all the alternative media to a single website.
Yeah. So that way, the domain companies and hosting companies will shut you down instead, like they did with.
They can't shut down the alt-right.net or .com or whatever it is. That's still going.
Yeah. But do you remember what happened to the Daily Stormer?
Mm-hmm. Is the Daily Stormer still up?
So yes,
right.
It was a rough ride there for a while, I believe.
But it's still up at the moment, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right. I'll admit that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So come at me. Try it.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me.
You mad, bro?
Come on me. Come at me, bro. Sort of thing.
Yeah. I think the only thing they could do at the end of the day, really, is they'll just have to Seth Rich you. I think it is.
Yeah, it's funny because my dad's saying that we're not going to make a difference, and my mum's sitting around saying they're going to shoot you, son. I'm like, why are they going to shoot me, mum? I'm not making a difference. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. I that's the thing though. I'm quite cynical. I actually think.
No, are you?
Are we really making a difference? Are we?
Yeah. Well, and this is what I was going to say, right?
So.
Even if we and obviously with you check the views on the channel lately, you notice the views have jumped. It's because they've been linked to the external. Yeah, they've been linked to that website. So the thing is that right? So at the end of the day, even if we only get 100 views on this Julian Assange story, right? But that doesn't mean that someone like Stex Hexenhammer or Sargon of Akkad or whatever will see this video and use our talking points.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually watching one of the videos I watched was a Yong Ye one.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, the thing that he said, I was like, did he just lift that off of Gamers Caf?
Mm.
I was actually really like, whoa, that was like deja vu. I was like,
There's been a bit of that lately. There's been a few things that we talked about, especially with the Australian politics. We were the first one to say a bit about it, and a lot of other people are paraphrasing the exact same thing that we said.
Yeah, yeah. I saw something with that. Which channel was it? It's that new channel I watch a fair bit of. It's Mike Martin's. I thought he lifted a quote that you said from a few days back. I was like, are these YouTubers watching us and going, these guys are smart?
Well,
and then just stealing everything we're saying,
and
but without giving any credit.
Well, yeah, if that's the case, give me some credit, man. But like I say, and I don't have a problem with people listening to us and copying anything that we might say. If you think we got it right, then by all means, do it. Obviously, I'd like the credit, but if not, stiff shit, I suppose. But at the end of the day...
Do you know what, though? It plays perfectly into my personality, though. I don't want success directly, not really. So if I'm sitting here giving off information that someone with success is using and making a difference, then I see it as like a success shield, and then I'm more than happy to keep going if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get famous per se either, because I hate the spotlight, which is why I have a panda as my avatar and not my real face. But but here's the thing too. Also, using what we're saying, and we're getting way off on the track, and we should probably wrap this story up. But what I was going to say was also you got to remember too that Styx Hexenhammer, for example, has just come out saying that he wants to work and that everybody should work with smaller YouTubers to prop everybody up. I don't know if you've seen that video, which, oh my God, that is something that this Red Panda has been saying for 18 months now.
Yeah. Do you know why this is a good idea, though? I think people might start to realize something important here. That the social media platforms are systematically getting rid of all the big players.
Yeah.
Now, so if these big players, I tend to feel that, it's a selfish reason, and look, there's nothing wrong with making money. I'm going to quote Rakita Law here. If you get into YouTubing and you want to make money, great, all power to you. That's people do things for the money, right?
Yeah,
exactly. There's nothing inherently wrong with making some cash for your work.
No.
But the thing is that not promoting a lot of the smaller channels that's a way of keeping your audience coming to you, and that's making you money. But what's the point if you get taken out and that really, really hurts the culture war on our side? So it might be time to sacrifice some of that, sweet green, the money, and start propping up the smaller players out of self-preservation.
Well, I don't think
because if you get taken out and all the smaller players don't want to come out and say anything because you weren't there for us, but if they are there for us now, then when they get taken out, we'll go to bat for them.
Well, this is the thing. At the end of the day, I don't think it is actually sacrificing any money, because at the end of the day, even if someone watches Styx Hexenhammer, for example, right, and then they watch my videos, for example, then at the end of the day, they're still going to watch both videos. So it's not really and this is the weird thing, right? Half of the topics that we cover today, people aren't going to talk about for another 12 hours yet. Because this is why this is why we do the show at this time of the day at 9 o'clock in the morning, our time. Well, 10 o'clock at now, but you know what I mean. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about the end of the news cycle. So Styx, for example, he'll upload his videos in 18 hours or whatever it may be, but it's going to be the exact same stuff that we talk about now. I guarantee you, Styx will put out a video tomorrow. He'll talk about Julian Assange, and a couple of the other hot topics that we're talking about right now. Now, it's not because he's watching our content or anything like that, don't take me out of word, but it's because of the fact that the stuff that we're talking is just breaking, and we're covering it as it's literally breaking towards the end of the day, and he won't be doing his videos until in the morning. So we get that sort of advantage.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but guys, look, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. We sort of went off a bit off track there. Let us know what your thoughts are regarding Julian. Do you think that they're going to be able to go through and shut him down? Do you think they're going to be able to charge him with Espionage Act? Or do you think at the end of the day it's a bit of a pipe dream? And it's, quote, WikiLeaks madness? To be honest, I think it's madness. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, we'll jump into the next story.
I'm just doing my job. I come in and I derail. That's what I do.
Yeah, just, subvert, Yeah. Don't do the laugh. All right, I'll start thinking you're sitting there rubbing your hands. Hey, three guys, how are you? Oh, boy. They can't. He reckons they can't shut it down. They can go after the domain register, but the thing is that you can just move the site around. Worst case scenario, you just run it off your own IP address if you have to.
Your website is just using the embed code for your YouTube video. So they take your channel down. You don't have any videos. You need to host it on your own server.
I wasn't going to mention the weakness in the actual system, but thanks for doing that.
Well, do a self-hosting setup.
Hey?
Self-host the videos.
Well, that's another way around it, yeah. But do you know how much bandwidth I would need for that? This is a stopgap between that and this.
I actually, you know what? There's a really cool thing. You can. I found this out through a friend of mine. For something like, it sounds a little expensive, but if you get big enough, you'll be able to afford it. You can basically get for something like, I think it's like 20 cents an hour or something. You can have a server with unlimited bandwidth, 8-core Xeon. It even has a video card. You can stream off the platform. Like, it's hilarious. So
I've got decent prices for servers and everything like that. Like my semi-deprecated server that I was playing around with, that was only like $100 or $50 or $50 a month, I think it was.
The one I'm talking about is like $20 a day on average. But
so that was like $50 a month, and that was unlimited bandwidth. The only thing that you would have to buy is more hard drive space when you use it up. But anyway, let's jump into the next story. Okay, guys. So, Swedish government wants to ban ancient Viking symbols, proclaiming they constitute incitement to hatred.
Yeah, I heard about this yesterday. I think it was.
I was
disgusted.
I think we sort of covered it a little bit, but this is a full story on it. Like, my question is,
I was disgusted at this. Like Norse, it's like Norse symbols and stuff.
Yeah. So my question about this is, did we not just have a blockbuster movie come out where one of the main characters was one of these Viking symbols?
Thor.
Endgame? Thor, yeah.
Yeah, Thor. Yeah.
But
Goodness me. Is Endgame promoting hate?
Oof, there you go, 4chan. Work your magic on that one. It'll be the next white power symbol for the OK symbol.
Actually, they need to do this. That'd be perfect accelerationism.
Oh, yeah. So Swedish government... I should message the boys later on 4chan. The Swedish government is trying to make certain ruins from rune alphabet, as well as some old Norse, Scandinavian symbols, illegal. Their official reason for banning the ruins is that Nazis used some of them during the Second World War. For the example of Odal ruin, that means O, and the Taroa ruin, I might be getting this wrong, which means T. Reportedly, the Social Democrat Minister of Justice Morgan Johnson is behind the initiative. So according to the proposal, Old Norse symbols and jewelry may also be banned as incitement to hatred. This includes Mona, hammer of the Norse god, Thor. Oh boy. They're gonna
They have to ban all the movies in Sweden.
they're gonna ban Mjolnir because it's, incitement of hate. I suppose it's incitement of hate if you get hit with it. But anyway, the Viking, the Odin's Knot, and the Vespa. I need one of my mates to jump in here because he's really good at this. He's actually part Viking. However, ruins are over 1,200 years old and have absolutely nothing to do with the Nazis. For many Swedes, the ruins are a big part of their religion, Astra, and for some, they just have a great historical meaning. The definition of racism in Sweden includes any kind of oppression against a religion that is racist, which means that banning ruins is racist against Swedish law. Nonetheless, the government is now trying to ban the country's pre-Christian heritage, religion and culture and art.
First they came for Christianity and no one spoke out. Next they came after the Vikings.
Yeah. To ban ruins because they were used by the Nazis is exactly like banning the Christian cross because it was used by the Ku Klux Klan or the Crusades, or to ban Arabic letters that are used by soldiers of the Islamic State. At the Ethe community, which organises Astra and people with the interest in the Old Norse cultural heritage, the outrage is great about what they mean in restrictions on, among other things, religious freedoms. A petition has been launched on Friday, the 24th of May. A manifesto in protest against the proposal will be held outside Parliament in Stockholm. So, people are not happy about this, and I can understand why. Like, this is absolutely insane.
Yes, it's insane in the membrane.
Yeah, welcome to Clown World. Look, at the end of the day, I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. I really don't. So I actually thought they were going to ban them because Islam found they were offensive. But if that's the case, Islam is going to find every religion symbol offensive unless it's Islamic, right?
Yeah.
So is that something that they're going to ban every religion now?
It depends how self-hating Sweden becomes. I think that's pretty much how it works.
That Christians are borderline extinct in the Middle East. You want to bring that up as a relation thing, do you?
Sorry?
That the Christians are borderline extinct in the... Do you want to talk about that as a relating topic?
Yeah, that's a really good relating topic.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Christianity is the first thing that they went after. I mean, the Norse religions are obviously the next thing that they're going to go after. But, I mean, it's interesting because it also ties into a lot of... I mean, the conservatives were right, basically. They're going after Christianity.
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe you'd like this story here.
Yeah. I don't have a problem talking about it. I've got it up on the screen. So Christians are borderline extinct in the Middle East now. The Christian population of Iraq has dropped from 1.5 million before 2030 to less than 250,000 today. Christians have become nearly extinct in the Middle East and the land where the religion began 2,000 years ago and flourished until the rise of Islam. According to The Hill, the Christian population in the Middle East has dwindled down to dangerous levels, which only worsens during the reign of Islam. In 2003, Christian population of Iraq stood at 1.5 million. Today it's dropped to less than 250,000. Does it say why they dropped?
Why do you think it's dropped?
Well, Yes, well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, here's a really good way to put it. There's a website that marks all of the church attacks and burnings in, I think is it Germany?
Well,
No, sorry, France. France. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's the church burning map, and a particular group of people are most likely going around doing that.
So
So, you know, yeah.
In Egypt, Christians have increasingly faced intense persecution. Who are they being persecuted by? Daily Caller or Daily Wire?
Now, why isn't the Daily Wire being honest about this?
Well, the Daily Wire is, at least they're putting that part in. So in 2017
Well, yeah.
alone, 128 cryptic Christians were killed for their faith as their culture churches were bombed and homes desecrated. As a result, Coptic Christians have fled the region in record numbers. The situation has become so dire that President Al-Fath el-Sir have taken extra steps to stem the tide, which includes prosecuting terrorists who have targeted them, rebuilding destroyed churches, and appointing the first cryptic female governor of an Egyptian province. He doesn't say, though, who's the one doing the prosecuting. Can we take a guess?
What's the dominant religion in the Middle East? That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I don't want to see Sweden lose their heritage. I don't think the Swedes want to lose their heritage. I don't want to see the movie Endgame banned in Sweden because it has Mjolnir in it, which is probably how far they would go. Look, at the end of the day, and also it's a dangerous precedent too, because if you go through and start banning the Christians and then you start banning the Swedes because that religion is offensive to Islam, then what about Buddhists? What about every other religion apart from Islam? Because they're all next.
I can see it percolating.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'll just be blunt about it. Basically, Islam is coming through, and they do believe that their religion is the only true one.
Yeah.
And it's percolating and into a simple thing. At the end of the day, they are, getting through into the West. They're getting into the institutions, and they're basically going to systematically go after every religion until they're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry if that was too blunt for the channel.
No, that's fine. And this is my problem with the alt-right. The alt-right will sit there and will go on about another religion. But to me, Islam is a bigger problem. Yeah,
but here's what I think, but and I saw this. There was a discussion between Sargon and one of his fans on one of his 4-hour-long videos. I've actually watched all of them, the 4-hour ones. Bit too much time on my hands there, I guess. Here's the thing. It fundamentally it makes sense. Defend Christianity and keep it alive and try to grow it. Because at the end of the day, whether you are a Christian or not, the West is the best, and it is fundamentally, it comes from the Enlightenment, and the way that Western culture works is very much founded on Christian values. Yeah. Western values come from Christian values and the Enlightenment. Yeah. So we really need to, here in the West, promote and push Christianity back up and prop it back up and defend it against Islam.
Yeah, we do. This is what I've said to you. I've said to other people in the past. I don't have a problem with Christianity. In fact, I would make the argument that some people need something like Christianity in their life because it helps them be a better person. The whole fear of I'm going to rot in hell or be condemned forever if I don't believe in, if I don't behave myself. That is a real threat that some people makes them behave. It's a It's the fear of wrath of God if you screw up. Sometimes people need that to behave themselves. Sometimes rapists and murderers and whatnot will sit there and find God and become a better person because of it. So if that's the case, I support Christianity. Obviously, I don't want this born-again fanatical Christianity. But at the end of the day, I think it is important that we do have Christianity values, especially in society. Ever since we sort of, and we, it wasn't me, obviously, it was other people, but ever since they've gone after Christianity for the past 20 odd years, we've seen a dip in morals in society. People are stealing stuff, people are assaulting people, stabbing people. The society is going down, and it is being dragged down with it. And I was talking to one of the other people I work with the other night, and I said to her, society is going backwards. And she said, yeah. She says, I don't know. We have drug problems. We have people on opioids and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, there were people on this sort of stuff back in the day, but it seems that the problems these days are so much bigger than what they were when Christianity was around.
But the thing is like it's more than just one factor. There are a large number of issues, fundamental societal issues at the moment, that lead people down depression, and depression leads to substance abuse. And people cope with it in really strange ways. Like it's not just substance abuse, but you also have like weird things that people get into. One such thing is like, you have sex addicts too. You've got all kinds of coping mechanisms, basically.
I don't know. We were driving home last night, and I left home, and there was a guy that was walking along the side of the road, and it was like he was on that flacker sort of drug that makes you spasm, and it was like he was on that. And I just, because I turned around, I just said to her, like, what a waste of life. It was just, But anyway, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the Swedish government wanting to ban these 8 ancient Viking symbols? Do you think it's a load of crap? Do you think at the end of the day this is a joke? In the fact that, like, it's insane that they're doing this? Do you think they'll go after other religions like Buddhism and whatnot after this? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright, so we got some information. Alright, so we got some information regarding Justine Ruzak. Now, this is the Australian that was killed over in America by the Muslim police officer.
Oh, okay. That was a while ago.
Yeah, was he Muslim or was he just?
No, I think he was. He was a
Muhammad. Yeah,
cop.
his name's Muhammad. So, yeah, it's a safe bet.
All
right. So let's go through the information, and we've also got the information. Like I believe we have the video and everything on here. So a US judge has released dramatic video which shows the moment after the Australian woman Justine Ruzak, I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong, was shot dead by the police officer. Body cam footage shows convicted policeman Mohammed Noor's reaction and the conversation between him and the other officer after pulling the trigger in Minneapolis on the 15th of June 2017. So, Noor appears dazed, confused, and anxious. He rubs his head and an officer speaks to him. The officer can be heard telling Noor to keep your mouth shut and saying he doesn't have to speak to anyone before he leads him into the police car. In another video, Noor's partner, Matthew Herity, is asked what happened. Herity says the pair were spooked before Noor pulled the trigger. The full 911 calls made by Ruzak, originally from Sydney Northern's beaches, have also been revealed. She made 2 calls because she thought that she could hear sexual assault in an alleged alleyway behind her home. I'm going to play this video because someone just rang my doorbell, so I'm going to play this and go and answer that very quickly.
All right.
With a haunting phone call made by Justine Ruzcek in the moments before she was shot dead by a Minneapolis police officer have now been made public. The Australian life coach called to report a possible sexual assault just 15 minutes before she was gunned down by 33-year-old Mohammed Noor. Here's some of the call.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Hi. I can hear someone out the back, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if she's having sex or being raped.
Give me the address.
5024 Washburn Avenue South.
Washburn Avenue South. Okay, and you said it's behind.
And there's a lane
behind
out the back. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I think she just yelled out help. But it's difficult. The sound has been going on for a little while, but I don't think she's enjoying it.
Noor was found guilty of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. He's now set to be sentenced early next month.
What a waste of life, huh?
Yeah, so I missed the start of that. Was there anything important in the start, or was it just all what was
Oh, I can't hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good point, I suppose, isn't it? There's bloody Jehovah's Witnesses, dude. Like, Jesus Christ.
Whoa. We're trying to promote Christianity back, are we?
With a haunting phone call made by Justine.
Well, just not the Jehovah's Witnesses, though. No one likes them.
Yeah. So... Okay,
By the way, if you're watching, you can get involved in the live chat. It's been pretty quiet in there.
Yeah, there's 6 people watching. But yeah, I can hear someone at the back, and I'm not sure if she's having sex or being raped. There's a lane out the back, and I think she just yelled out "help." She says. A jury in Minneapolis found Noor guilty of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter early this month. He's behind bars and will be sentenced on the 7th of June. Justine's finance, Don Diamond, who she met at the Mediterranean retreat, was out of the town on a work trip when his phone rang. He picked up and the court told during the trial. It was revealed Rizak had made the call to Diamond about a minute and a half before she was fatally shot. The court heard that Rizak's final words to Diamond that night were, "Okay, the police are here." I cannot even still get my arms around what happened, Mr. Diamond told CBS in his first interview since the trial. I said, "Stay put and call 911. Mr. Diamond told the TV show. 6-7 minutes later, I texted her and said, "Tell me what's going on." At this point, she was already gone.
Yeah. It's very simple what happened. Someone put an idiot on the police force.
Yeah. I don't know how some white girl knocking on a police officer's window is enough to shoot her, regardless of the race or religion of the police officer. I think he was just an absolute idiot.
Yeah. I mean, you can't... One of the things is, it's very simple. You can't give a person without a good constitution a police badge and a gun. If you're going to be scared, then don't be a police officer. You need to have the wherewithal. You can't be scared. Otherwise, you're a ticking time bomb. It's the same thing. You don't put a... I mean, obviously people are going to be afraid when they go into war, like if they're in the military, but they have to have the constitution to keep their wits about them. You can't, yeah.
Do you think he's going to get off lightly, though?
Probably not. No, he's been charged, hasn't he?
He's getting charged on 3rd of June?
Yeah.
5th of June?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he'll get off lightly. The evidence is so clear that he literally murdered someone.
15th of July, he gets charged.
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
an
no,
update
no,
on,
no,
on
hang on.
that.
Hang on, hang on. That's the date it happened.
Oh,
7th of June, he's been sentenced.
all right. Well, we'll do an update on that, I'm sure.
Checkpoint says Sweden is full of she's. I presume he's talking about the Norse symbols. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it's a waste of life. She was a beautiful woman. She tried to do the right thing, and this cop just decided to shoot her because he got spooked. Like, this is absolutely insane. This is why people don't like cops. This is why people go on about police brutality. And the weird thing, the really thing is, they'll go on about Trayvon Martin and all these sort of guys. But this, hardly even touched it. When was the last time you heard the leftists organising a protest against this sort of stuff? You know? But I guess
she was a white Australian girl.
Yeah, I guess Justine was just the wrong colour to bother protesting, right? Like, identity politics doesn't quite work in this one. So, let's back off this one. You know, we don't want to go on about this police officer shooting her because he's the wrong colour to be shooting people. And, and she's the wrong colour to, sit there and get shot. She's probably a Nazi. She was probably a white supremacist or some shit. Right? Left? Like, this is the argument they're probably going to try and make.
They probably think it's great because, that's, she probably didn't have children yet. And she might have. So they probably, they was like, yes. She didn't have any kids.
Oh, don't even get me started. Have you seen the abortion signs that are going around?
No.
Three girls were sitting on a lawn protesting against the abortion bill, and they literally had a sign saying parasites don't have rights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's an awful sign. Holy crap.
I've shown one or two
Parasites
people
don't
at
have
work
rights.
about it, and they were like, this is just too much. This is like, these are people that are like pro-abortion, and they're just like, this is just wrong. This is just really wrong. Like, literally calling a fetus and we're going to talk about that, so we'll probably leave that subject for later. But yeah, but as for Justine Kozak, look, I think this is absolutely insane. I think this is a waste. You have abortion advertisements? I don't think we'll have any advertisements on this video, bro, to be honest. I don't think there's any monetization at all, to be honest. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's just a waste of human life. It's a waste of just life. She tried to do the right thing. She tried to save this other girl that sounds like she was being raped, and the cops shot her because he got spooked. It is absolutely insane. But yeah. But I don't know, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright. I want to talk about... So, let's talk about this. A Dutch minister resigns after serious migrant crimes hidden from data. Oh, imagine my surprise.
They do that all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Covering up everything.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last? I wonder if BBC has ever done a coverage on the grooming gangs.
They had to once it all came out.
Yeah, but I wonder how they covered it.
Yeah. They only covered it after Tommy made it public. So the Dutch immigration minister has stepped down following an outcry over a government immigration crime report which hid serious migrant crimes, including rape, murder, and other categories of other. What other crimes are they doing besides rape and murder? What, stabbings? No, hang on, that'd be attempted murder. Like, what?
You can die from being stabbed. Actually, you're more likely to die from stabbings than being shot. Apparently,
Yes.
doctors, surgeons have mentioned. I've heard this on a documentary. The way that a knife damages internals is
Worse.
in a way that it's much more difficult to actually like fix it up. Bullets do a much more quick type of tear, but the knife cuts. Yeah, it's just different. The surgeon said it's much worse to be stabbed.
Checkpoint says in chat, yeah, buddy, you're shadow banned level 3. Is that something that you're confirmed, or are you just saying that, Checkpoint? Like, if you work for YouTube and I'm level 3 shadow banned, like, let us know, man. Or is it like out of what level? Or is it just like you just saying that because like, as a joke?
I think he's memeing.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I was level 3 shadow banned, whatever that may mean though. The Ministry of Justice document, which recorded crimes in which asylum seekers were the suspects, listed a number of various misdemeanors, such as shoplifting, pickpocketing, while failing to identify much more serious offences like murder, child abuse, and rape. Holy shit. They were simply lumped together under the heading of other. Okay, so that's what it was. Oh, okay. So it's nothing serious. It was just child abuse, apparently. According to the Telegraph, whatever it may be. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He says, 7 viewers, you tell me. Yeah, I know we're shadow banned, man. Yeah. Don't worry, we have another channel where we're going to go live on that since I get my new internet. So, just have fun shadow banning those ones, I suppose. According to the Telegraph, which I might be mispronouncing, which revealed the admissions last week, the category covered around 1,000 cases, including 79 alleged sexual offences, 51 serious assaults, and 31 cases of attempted murder or manslaughter. The statistics show that asylum seekers from the safe countries such as Morocco, Argentina, were suspects in almost half of the 4,600 incidents recorded in the report, which was released in the name of full transparency, according to Hebers, who has said that only by providing such insights can there be support for the receipt of refugees. So, we have a serious influx of crime, but we're still going to support some refugees. Is that the argument? Is that what they're saying?
But it would appear so. It would appear so.
Netherlands is cut. Haber's departure came after there was a serious criticism of the report in the press and from politicians, including the populist Freedom Party leader Geert Wilders, who described the Justice Ministry of having acted like a mafia gang in how they present the figures. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte posted on social media to express sadness over the resignation, tweeting, "Politics can be tough. Respect for State Secretary Hubbard's decision to resign, but it's incredibly unfortunate that the Cabinet must say goodbye to such a talented and committed Liberal." Well, it depends if she was the one fudging the figures or not. Because if she was, then I'm kind of glad she's gone, to be honest. The resignation was described...
Yeah, that's not talent.
No. My immigration policies are people that are similar to your culture. I used to be sort of like, yay, we bring in people. But at the end of the day, Checkpoint, no, just people that are similar culture now. It's just, it's insane. It's just...
The difference between civic nationalism and ethno-nationalism.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. Well, in Australia, we have a serious problem here, Checkpoint, with Asian gangs. African Asian gangs. They like to call them Asian, but they're actually African. Who are running around causing problems.
African gangs.
Yeah. So, I think we should go back to the immigration that we had 40 years ago, where we used to take mostly European people. That would be my argument now. I don't care if people attack me in the media for saying that. Yeah.
I can mention something of interest. I don't watch mainstream media at all.
No.
But my mother does. and I was talking to her the other day about the Sudanese issue, and because it's primarily Sudanese gangs.
Yep.
She watched something on ABC, and they were interviewing one of these Sudanese elders. It was a lady, a Sudanese lady, and she said that basically they're basically saying that these youth are out of control. It's a terrible image for us because people in Australia are painting all of us with the same brush, and that at the end of the day, if we might not have a choice, it's unfortunate. We might have to send them all back. And this was a Sudanese elder saying it.
Yeah.
On the ABC, and they aired it.
Yeah. And look, it's not all. It's hashtag not all. I know. I get it. I've got people from that area that I've had as friends and stuff, and they were great people. But here's the thing, right? Do you just stop the immigration from everybody, or what do? Sit there and make sure you check everybody with a fine-tooth comb?
But the thing I thought was interesting from it is that the Sudanese elder was saying we probably have to send them all back. Yeah. The kids and their parents. Yeah. And this is, wow.
Yeah, I know. That's
a red pill.
Yeah, it's kind of red pilling, yeah. Ask the Aboriginal people what their immigration policy was. Their immigration policy was really strict. It's funny, it's actually Aboriginals were very conservative in nature. They even had rules where you weren't allowed to change the landscape. They did
anyway.
Well, we did. We came in and changed
we did.
Yeah. But the resignation was described in local media as a heavy blow to the ruling VVD party, which already this year's faced a major setback when the Eurosceptics anti-mass immigration forum for Diplomatic Party went from 0 seats to become the largest force in the Dutch Senate at provincial elections in March. Okay, so it sounds like she is a liberal who is like open borders sort of thing. So yeah. So I imagine she was the reason why she's resigned is because they've said you've literally tried to conceal some of these sort of crimes. Resign or we'll fire you.
Yeah, you can't go misreporting stuff like that.
Well, they have been for years. It's just starting to come out now, but it's all because of these rise of these populist parties that's coming out.
Yes. I saw a story earlier, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." 2016, and it's just been rolling on through, hasn't it?
Yeah. There is a flashing thing for the. European election puts the UK media in 4-day bind as government unveils. Police investigate polling station milkshake attack on elderly veteran wearing a Brexit Party rosette.
Yeah, I mean, what is it with the left and their obsession with milkshakes now?
Because they're racist, but we can use them to fight the racists, which now makes them non-racist, I suppose. 4 out of 5 largest parties in Europe are elected after election will be nationalist populists. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, as for this, look, if she was in here concealing evidence and concealing figures, good riddance. Good, I don't care. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. Apart from that, any thoughts, opinions, final views before we wrap up this and go to the next story?
Yeah, no, I just was having an internal giggle at that comment from Checkpoint. Don't feel too bad. We manifest destiny the heck out of the natives up here. Jesus Christ.
Alright. All right, let's jump on to the next one. So you guys have probably heard Facebook has removed a record 2.2 billion fake accounts in Q1 of 2019.
2.2 billion?
Yeah, I didn't think there was that many conservatives they could have banned.
Oh my God.
On one hand, Facebook, the world's biggest social media company, represented that it's just under 2.4 billion monthly active users from across the globe. On the other hand, Facebook on Thursday said that it removed a record 2.2 billion fake accounts in the first quarter. Sorry. Which, while putting the former number to double, it's almost as big as Facebook's entire universe of active users. Also demonstrates how the company is battling an avalanche of what Bloomberg calls bad actors, trying to undermine the authenticity of the world's largest social network. Alternatively, one wonders just how credible the 2.4 billion MAU number when there's such an onslaught of fake accounts. In the last quarter of 2018, Facebook disabled just over 1 billion fake accounts and 583 million in the first quarter of last year. According to Facebook, the vast majority of such fake accounts are removed within minutes of being created, so they're not counted in Facebook's closely watched monthly and daily active users. Facebook also shares the new metric in Thursday's report: the number of posts removed that were prompting or engaging in drug and firearm sales in the first quarter of 2019. Facebook has pulled more than 1.5 million posts from these categories, according to Bloomberg. So, look at the end of the day.
I can imagine that people Silk Road on Facebook. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and look at the end of the day, and look, obviously a lot of these 2.2 billion accounts, a lot of them would be obviously duplicates, people that get banned, so they go and make another account, make another account, make another account. Also, I imagine that there were also conservatives.
But you know what's interesting is I mean, you know, you can use Facebook through a .onion address over Tor, so. You know, you connect to a VPN and then, you know, double black magic that with some Tor over it and use Facebook for, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying all 2.2 billion were conservatives. That was obviously a joke at Facebook's expense. I just want, before anybody goes misrepresenting me. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do wonder how many conservatives were banned in this 2.2 billion accounts as well. Look at the end.
Sorry.
I was going to say,
I have friends who use fake names. Obviously, won't say who they are. It's just that, like one of my best friends, he only has his first name true, and then his surname is fake. Now that would fall under the fake account rules.
True. Yeah. So rest of the world, monthly active users in 2019 was 768. 981 were for Asia. Europe was 348, and the US and Canada was only 243 active users.
Wow.
That's in the millions, so that's 243 million active users.
Yeah, but there's the lowest Facebook community is the Americas.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense when you're doing like population, for example. Like Asia Pacific would be Australia and Asia, like India and everything like that.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, but I mean, America is like Facebook is America.
Yeah.
I don't know, just America has an enormous population. So cool to see that, you know, so few people. Yeah, it's great. Facebook, die, please.
Well, they only have 350 million, I think it is, in the US. And out of that, 243 million are using Facebook. But obviously that also counts people that are underage who can't vote. That 350 million is voters. So I think there's around 600 million, I think it is, active users, active people in the US. So they've got a fair share.
How many of all of that users do you think is non-human?
What do you mean, like AI?
No, like, cats and dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't know. Not many.
I mean, Tripwire, apparently his cat has its own Facebook account. Trip's cat uses Facebook too.
Those opposable thumbs. It's a neat trick for a cat. See, that's the thing. Does that count as a fake account? Because technically it's not really. Well, no, because
the cat is real. The cat's real. How can it be fake?
True. But anyway, I don't know, guys. As for this, look, obviously I do think there were a lot of accounts that were obviously duplicates and whatnot. I do think that this is obviously also a lot of fake accounts. I also think there was also some conservatives that were also banned as well. We've seen the purges and everything go on. I do find it interesting that they've just gone through and lumped everybody together. I would like to see how many conservatives were banned from Facebook.
And that's a good point too. Checkpoint mentions that because companies are an actual person under the law, like they're an entity.
Yeah.
So McDonald's has an account now. That would be real.
True.
No, just gets the old noggin jogging. Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. All right. So, the rest of these stories...
You want to pound through them?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, is there... There's none that we're really going to have to record, I don't think.
I wish I could say we had to pound through the super chats, but I guess I can't say that.
Hey, don't knock my viewers. We got a super chat yesterday for $2. Candace Owens and Connor West argue over Maxine Waters and her low IQ. This is actually kind of funny because I started watching this video before I went out this morning. I had to go out and buy a sofa. But the nutty liberal who steps in a ring with conservative star Candace Owens may want to think twice. There is a reason why Facebook and the tech giants want to silence Candace Owens. She's brilliant, beautiful, confident, poised, conservative, and appealing. Wednesday night on the Ingram Angle, Turning Point's Candace Owens debated Conwell West on the Trump accomplishments, which is the part that I was watching. During their debate, the topic turned to Maxine Waters and her IQ. Conwell argued that Mad Maxine has the highest IQ. Candace stopped him in his tracks and argued that with President Trump that Maxine Waters is a very low IQ person. Of course, Candace is right, and Maxine would never agree to an IQ test. What's funny is that the Democrats insist pointing out Maxine's low IQ is racist. How does Candace Owens fit in this argument? We do have that video, and we will play that for everybody.
The president is doing something different. Definitely his tone is different because he tells the truth and he doesn't pander to Black America. He hasn't offered us hot sauce. He's offered us jobs. That makes many people uncomfortable because they're from an era where race hustling is a business. They're used to telling Black Americans that they're victims, writing books about victimhood, and that is no longer selling in America. And I just wanted to comment back on saying that xenophobia is something that Black Americans are afraid of. Xenophobia means that you have a fear, Mr. West, of foreigners. Black Americans are not foreigners in this country. We are a piece of the American dream. We've earned a piece of this American dream, and we're getting tired of people telling us that we are somehow separate of it. I mean, that's really what I have to say. We're doing tremendous under this presidency. There is no candidate that is offering anything on the left to counter what Trump has offered. They're just offering more rhetoric, more fear-mongering, and unfortunately, time is up on this narrative. We are ready to move on and embrace our futures.
Oh, Dr. West, go ahead.
If I can come straight, I mean, first, xenophobia in the generic sense means the fear of other. And black folk have been other, enslaved, Jim Crow, Jane Crow, and so forth. So if you want to, the narrow understanding is just foreigner, but it's the other. those who have been otherized, those who have been marginalized in this sense. But think of when you call my dear sister Maxine Waters low IQ.
She does have a low IQ.
That's vicious.
That's a fact.
You said what?
A fact. That is a fact. If she took an IQ exam, you would find out that Maxine Waters had a very low IQ. And I will push that challenge. It may not be nice, but it is truth.
Okay.
When he calls Brother Colin a son of a bitch, you see this kind of language.
I never use language.
No, I'm talking to the president.
Oh, video's breaking up. All right. Yeah. So Candace Owens kind of slams him there. So yeah, I don't know. You obviously didn't hear it, but she just went through and basically just outlined it and just said that, you know, that yes, Maxine Waters is low IQ. She's not agreed to a IQ test, and the reason why is because she's low IQ. Thoughts?
That's so awesome. Yeah, I agree. She's low IQ.
Yeah, I don't know how to argue to that one. If you want to debate this, then maybe Maxine could take an IQ test.
Exactly. If you want to debate it, we'll take the IQ test, and then the last laugh is hers, right? Or not? Maybe
Exactly.
not. Never know.
Well, you never know. Yeah, like Maxine, you might be able to pull it off. You know But anyway,
funny.
But yeah, as for this, obviously, Candace just wrecks him. It's funny because the whole time he's sitting there rocking backwards and forwards. I know it's his nervous, it's his tick, it's his thing that he does. But it's kind of funny watching him do it when Candace is just literally railing against him, because it just makes it look like he's just, you know, getting in a fetal position. I don't know if she'd be old enough to run in 2024. Would she, Trip? How old is Candace? Candace Owens is 28, 29. So 5 years. Oh, should just be on the crust, maybe, depending on birth date. She's 29 this year. She might be a year under. Yeah. Pocahontas will be telling Maxine Waters not to take the test. Yeah, pretty much. Apart from that, let's jump on to the next story. So Senate moves bill forward to urge sanctions against China for Muslim concentration camps. Can we guess which Senate might have done this? Do you think? Maybe? Democratic or Republican? Who do you reckon is protecting the Muslim Brotherhood? Before we get into the story. Democrats? Yeah, I think they're going to be too. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee passed a bill Tuesday that, if enacted, would call for sanctions on Chinese government and select individuals over mass imprisonment of potentially millions of Muslims in concentration camps in eastern Xinjiang province. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, under Xi Jinping, is building hundreds of re-education centers that claim are vocational training. Vocational training facilities for Ingjas, Killars, Kingroys, and other minorities. I might be getting those names wrong, I apologise. Those who survived them called concentration camps, locations where they're taken by force to learn Mandarin, renounce their Muslim faith, memorize communist propaganda songs, and engage in slave labour. Survivors report that the widespread use of torture, including electric shock and sleep deprivation, and in some cases killing. Up to 3 million Muslims and others of inconvenient ethnic or religious identity are believed to be trapped in these camps, according to the US government. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee introduced a bill addressed the situation in November and passed it to be voted on by the full Senate. On Wednesday, Senators Robert Menzies, Democrat for New York, Marco Rubio, a Republican for Florida, introduced the bill. Okay, so it's both of them. It receives widespread bipartisan support from some of the more hardline members of both parties, including the press release from Senate Rubio's office. Among other supporters are Senate Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, who's a Democrat, Tom Cotton, who's a Republican, and Chuck Grassley, who's a Republican. Following the passages of the act in committee, Senator Rubio said it's long overdue to hold Chinese government and the Communist Party officials accountable for systematic and egregious human rights abuses against Uyghurs, I'm getting that name wrong, and other predominantly Muslim minorities in Xinjiang, calling the act an important step. Okay, holy shit, Trip, really? Trip says I don't see a problem here. Woo, getting a little spicy there, bro. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. I don't think anybody should go through education camps. Okay, and I don't want, obviously, communist propaganda taught. All this sort of stuff, right? Obviously, I have a huge problem with that. Also, forcing your religion onto people and all that sort of stuff, I get that's wrong. But, flying pretty close to the sun here, aren't we? Well, let's put it this way. In a Muslim country, would they be expected to do the same?
Yeah.
D-Class is released. What's D-Class, man? Repo?
What's that?
I don't know. Repo, what's D-Class, man? Type in chat, what's D-Class? D-Class just released. I don't know what D-Class is, man.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, there's a 30-second delay, so he's probably typing it now.
Okay,
Web news. Pfizer. Oh shit.
Whoa.
He just what?
Oh, D-Class, declassified.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the
declassified. Okay.
Holy shit! He just released the Pfizer. He released the Pfizer memo.
Oh. Thanks for the heads up, Repo.
Yeah, thank you, man. Otherwise, I would have to go live twice today. Pfizer memo. Here's what it says. Okay. We'll talk about that next, guys. Holy shit, Trump, man. Fuck. Okay. Declaring war on the deep state. Okay. So apart from that, training camps for Muslims. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with Tripwire. I don't see a problem here.
Shit. How do you look in a Bosch suit there, Trip and you? You guys, do you wear the Bosch suit well, or?
Hey man, I look great in a suit.
You look great in a suit. The suit fits, does it? Does the suit fit well?
Yeah. I just gotta go, like, Saigon style. I'll just put on my suit. I look great.
Okay. All right. Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be the voice of reason on this. I'm going to say that it's probably not a good idea to go teaching people communist propaganda, regardless of the other side of the argument. I think it's generally a bad thing to put people in re-education camps. that said,
sometimes is it necessary? I don't know.
Well, I was just going to say, look, yeah, it's, look, at the end of the day, the fact is, would it be any different if they were in a Muslim country?
China actually does this, so,
Yeah, but if, for example, a Muslim country, like, what's the difference between China re-educating you in re-education camps and a Muslim country killing you for being a Christian?
I don't know.
Are you like a red panda or what? Yeah, the avatar's a red panda, man, yeah. I'm not really a red panda, though. Don't worry. I just hide my identity because of some of the shit that we cover. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I don't know. I just... Yeah, I don't know. You want to get onto the Pfizer thing, right?
Yeah, come on, let's get on the Pfizer.
All right, let's jump on. Everybody wants to talk about it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to record this too because it's going to go up as a separate video. Okay. Pfizer memo released. Here's what it says. Update. They just released the Pfizer memo accuses senior officials at the DOJ of inappropriately using biased opposition research into then candidate Trump to obtain surveillance warrants on transition team members as a part of a federal investigation into Trump-Russia campaign. According to documents, information from the so-called Steele dossier was essential to the accusations of surveillance warrants on Trump campaign aide Carter Page. It claims then Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe told the committee in December that without the information from the Steele dossier, which was fake, most of it, mind you, no surveillance warrant for Page would have been sought. The memo alleges that the political origins of the dossier, paid for by Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, DNC, were not disclosed to the contestant court and signed off on the warrant request. Holy shit. The documents claim that although the FBI had clear evidence the author of the dossier, former British spy Christopher Steele, was biased against Trump, it did not convey that to the surveillance court when making the warrants application. Steele told then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce O'Hare that he was desperate that a Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president, the memo says. House conservatives have taught the memo's revelations as worse than Watergate, which I'm thinking it is true, and hinted that it could prove the undoing of the federal investigation into Trump campaign. Meanwhile, Democrats on the panel say that it's a cherry-picked set of inaccurate accusations designed to kneecap Special Counsel Robert Mueller. They have drafted their own counter memo, I'm sure you have, to rebut the Republican drafted document, but the majority voted against immediately making the document public earlier this week. The memo is based on a slew of high classified material provided to the committee by Justice Department itself in a closed-door deal brokered by Speaker Paul Ryan. He's a Republican, by the way. Naturally, the DOJ has claimed the release of the memo is an abrogation of the terms of the deal, and an assertion spokesman for both Ryans and Nunes have rejected. Meanwhile, the underlying evidence remains classified. The state of affairs that the Democrats and some national security analysts say make it impossible to independently verify the memo's conclusions. As The Hill reports earlier, ahead of the document's release, Paul Ryan privately urged House Republicans not to overplay the document and not to tear it to the Mueller investigation. So that's interesting. Here's a select excerpt from the Pfizer memo, full PDF below, and we will put a link to that. On the October 21st, 2016, DOJ and FBI sought and received a Pfizer probable cause order not under Title of 7, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from the Pfizer. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump president campaign. Consistent with the requirements under Pfizer, the application had to be first certified by the Deputy Director of the FBI, and then required the approval of the Attorney General, Deputy General, DAG. The Senate confirmed Assistant Attorney General of the National Security Division. The FBI DOJ obtained one initial Pfizer warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 Pfizer renewals from the Pfizer. Required by statute, a Pfizer ongoing an American citizen must be renewed every 90 days. Each renew requires a separate finding of the probe cause. Then Director James Comey signed 3 Pfizer applications in question on behalf of the FBI, and the Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed one. Then DAG Sally Yates and Acting GAD Dana Buntold and DAG Rod Rosenstein each signed one or more Pfizer applications on behalf of the DOJ. Our findings indicate that the described below material and relevant information was omitted. The dossier compiled by Christopher Steele, the Steele dossier, on behalf of the Democrat National Committee, DNC, and Hillary Clinton campaign, formed an essential part of the Carter Page Pfizer application. Steele was a long-time FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and the Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins, Cole and research firm Pfizer GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. Holy shit, there is a lot of information here. So before we keep going, let's break that down. They did not disclose that the DNC had paid for the Pfizer, paid for the opposition research, was used against Trump and his cabinet and his officials. Thoughts and opinions?
Crazy. Did you think that this is what it was going to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just nice to see it in official terms, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything that we thought.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually an interesting thing to say as well. Is it was released right on the weekend, right on the beginning of it. So now it's just going to sit there and percolate all weekend. It's beautiful timing.
It's Friday here, so that's Thursday over there. So we've still got Friday yet.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but this is awesome though. Like it confirms a lot of what everyone's been saying. It's what we needed.
We were called conspiracy theorists for talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who's the conspiracy theorist now?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mainstream media is.
Yep.
Like at the end of the day, this is everything that we suspected. We knew this is what was going on. We just now have proof of it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Okay, so What follows is some have dubbed the damning section. There was no reason not to disclose the relationship between Clinton and Steele unless the authors were worried about exposing a clear political link. A. Neither the initial application on October 2016 nor of any of the renewals disclosed or referenced the role of the DNC Clinton campaign or any party campaign in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were then known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. And B. The initial FISA application notes that Steele was working for a named US person but does not name Fusion GPS, and Principal Glenn Simpson, who was paid by the US law firm Perkins Coie, represented the DNC, even though it was known by the DOJ at the time that the political actor was involved with the Steele dossier. The application does not mention Steele was immediately working on behalf of a paid by the DNC Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. This is everything that we already knew. This is what we knew. We're not surprised by this. It is good to have this obviously in writing and in black and white. But okay. People in the US take tomorrow off. They're not going to be on their own TVs. This is what the Q movement is about. Hey Eric, how are you, buddy? Have you heard? Trump just released the FISA. Holy shit. This could take down Democrats. This could take down Comey, McCabe, Letta Lynch. Could take them all down. But they're using documents.
You think so?
Well, yeah, they're using documents, and they're not telling the FISA court who has paid for this research. They're literally going into the FISA court saying, hey, we got some research on Donald Trump we want to look into. And they're not disclosing that it's come from his opposition. This is Watergate. This is what Nixon did in Watergate. Spying on your opposition. Spying on your opposition campaign. Like, this is bad, dude. This is really bad for the Democrats. The ball's in motion, yeah. And this is what William Barr is looking into. And I don't think it is a very big surprise that William Barr is looking into this and Trump drops the FISA warrant. I don't think that's weird at all. I think Trump is doing this deliberately because he's going after the deep state.
Well, if he's finally going to drain the swamp, that would be great, because I think that was one of his major election promises: drain the swamp. The economy, fixing up the trade deals, the war, draining the swamp. I mean, if he can get at least draining the swamp ball rolling, it'll help him for his re-election, that's for sure.
Yeah, and this also ties into Assange too.
It does. And even some, even a couple of lefties over there in America on the TV have been admitting that he's actually the first president to come through with election promises.
Yeah, but the important thing that this.
Nice.
But okay, so this is what I think, and this is what I was saying before. What if Assange gets extradited to America, right? The deep state says that we're going to lock you up for 170 odd years, 175 years, I think it was that we were talking about earlier, right? And then Trump and William Barr turn around and say to Assange, give us who gave you the DNC emails, and we will pardon you. Now, if it is who we think it is, if it is Seth Rich, which is who I honestly suspect it is, he's dead. What harm is going to come to him? Yeah, there are a few swamp creatures in there, that's for sure. Yeah, I agree with that checkpoint, yeah.
Swamp creatures.
Yeah. there are warmongers, deep state, that he is surrounded by. But yeah, but they're easily taken care of. At the moment, she is. Yeah, she is. Hillary is not. Okay, look, Hillary is corrupt, sure, but she's not the head of the Hydra. Let's face it. Comey is a higher prize than Hillary Clinton. Andrew McCabe is a higher prize. Clapper is a higher prize than Hillary Clinton.
The head of the Hydra is more than likely people we may have never even heard of, to be honest.
Yeah.
The deep state is very, very secret.
Oh, yeah. Eric says in chat, if that bastard wins, referring to 2016 presidential election, we'll be all hanging from nooses, supposedly from Hillary Rotten Clinton herself. And she, yeah, they will chuck her under the bus. She knows it. She can sit there and laugh as much as she wants on stage, but I bet you she is having some very restless nights. She knows that if he goes after the deep state, they will kick her to the curb. They will throw her into the lawn chipper just to save themselves.
I believe it, absolutely.
You're talking about Checkpoint, what Checkpoint said, or what Hillary?
What he said there. Oh, yeah.
No, that's not.
You want to fly that close to the sun, dude?
No, not today. But
okay.
Yeah, but also there's more of it yet. We haven't even got to the rest of it yet. The section above also makes good case for releasing the underlying Pfizer application, either as Clinton connection was disclosed or it wasn't. Not a fact either party can distort. In a curious twist, in order to collaborate the dossier, the memo reveals that the FBI extensively cited a news article that was based entirely on the dossier, in effect using the dossier to corroborate the dossier, which is what you and I have said before. They had the dossier, they wanted to corroborate it, they wanted to investigate it, so to use that evidence, they then went through and they leaked that dossier to Yahoo News, who then went through and wrote about it, and then they turned around and said, they're writing about this dossier, we have to look into this. It's circular investigation work, technically. The Carter Page Pfizer application also cited extensively September 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News, which I just said, article by Michael Kreskoff, who focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News. The Page Pfizer application incorrectly asserts that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016 at the direction of Fuser GPS. Perkins Coyer was aware of Steele's initial media contact because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS where this matter was discussed. The memo continues to revealing more information about Steele and his clear political bias. So Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI source for what the FBI refines as the most serious of violations, unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in October 2016, Mother Jones article by David Korn. Steele's numerous encounters with the media violations and cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrated that Steele became a less than reliable source for the FBI. 3. Before the Steele dossier determined as source, he maintained contact with DOJ via then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce O'Hare, a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorney General Yates and later Rodstein. Shortly after the election, the FBI began interviewing O'Hare documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to O'Hare his feelings against the then candidate Trump, when Steele said he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This is clear evidence of Steele's bias, was recorded by O'Hare at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any way of the Page FISA application. During the same time period, O'Hare's wife was employed by Fusion GPS, so no conflict of interest whatsoever, to assist in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump. O'Hare later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research paid for by the DNC, Clinton campaign, and Fusion GPS. The O'Hare's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from FISA. Like, this is bad for them. This is bad for the deep state. Like, yeah. That's just bad for them.
The question I suppose I would ask is anyone actually going to go down for this?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? That's the thing that matters.
Yeah, because knowing is only half of it. I mean, we've seen plenty of these scandals coming out, Panama Papers, all the things coming out. I haven't seen anyone actually go to prison for anything.
Yeah, but then we didn't have Trump in power.
Is that, you think that might change anything?
Yeah.
Not to sound cynical, just saying.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. Dude, I legitimately think Trump is an American patriot. And for an American patriot, for having someone go through and corrupt your government institutions, you got to remember, like, this is not just making the Democrats look bad. This is making the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agencies looking bad.
Well, that's been going on before Trump. I mean, look at, PRISM, what came out of the PRISM scandal, Now we know about the Five Eyes Alliance, and what's changed after that?
But with PRISM, for example, right, well, obviously we didn't have Trump in power back then, but also I don't think we had a true American patriot. Like, there's photos of Trump hugging the American flag when he's on stage. I don't think that is a joke. I don't think that's pandering. I think he literally does love his country. Right. And
yeah, well, there's also video of him kissing a particular wall.
Yeah.
That wasn't patriotic.
Well, no, just because and this is where you and I disagree. Just because you're pro-Israel doesn't mean you're against America.
I think it means you have a partitioned allegiance, maybe?
Not necessarily. If I was to go to Israel to visit the wall, right, which I would like to do at some point, because it is, look, it's part of history, right? It's the Israel wall, right? I would like to see it. And when you're there, you do that. You kiss the wall. You wear the little funny hat. You kiss the wall. It's part of the culture of that area. I am in no way Jewish.
That's me.
Sorry?
I wouldn't do it, but that's just me.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I said, I would do it. I'm not Jewish. I have no Jewish ancestry. I have no ties to Islam or Jews or anything like that, or Judaism. But I would still do it because it's, when in Rome, you do what the Romans do, per se. It's part of their culture. It's part of their history, right? Dude, you know me, man. I'm proud Australian, right?
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, is if, for example, if Trump was to go through and to start leading American troops into a conflict supporting Israel and those troops were dying, then that would make me question his allegiance. But at the moment, he's tried to pull out.
With Iran.
Sorry?
Something big is coming up with Iran.
Well,
yeah.
Iran is interesting.
Now I don't know. This is not a prediction. I'm just guessing. But they've sent over a carrier. It's a 30-year-old carrier. I think it was it's a Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, USS that. That's the name of the ship, I believe. It's like over 30 years old. It's due for decommissioning. And yet it's been sent down into that area, okay, to do with Iran. That boat gets sunk, and then they use it as an excuse to go into Iran. That's my theory.
Yeah.
So that's Trump's little war, like every other president.
Well, okay. So there's a difference. All right. So Trump wanted to pull out of Syria, right? And then Assad magically went and gassed his own people. By the way, information's come out regarding the gas attack. Yours truly, including you, were right about that. It was a fake. It was staged. But anyway, we should be actually covering that today, but there's so much news now. But at the end of the day, just because Trump is sending the carrier over there doesn't necessarily mean that he mightn't be playing ball with the deep state until he manages to sweep them all up. If Trump was to go through...
4D chess.
Yeah, if he was to go through and declare war on the deep state right now, do you think he could pull it off?
I don't know. Every other president who's done that was they just passed away early.
Yeah. Yeah, they had sudden accidents that involved getting assassinated and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Trump has a family.
Yes.
He has a kid too.
Yeah. So what I think is happening at the moment is that he is playing ball. He's aware of what the deep state's doing. He's not stupid, as much as the mainstream media will like you to believe. He's playing ball with them for the moment. He's letting them go through to, they go through and they suggest all these plans to attack Syria and everything like that. He's doing the option that is the most minimalist that he can do while he goes through and rounds them all up for this. That would be an interesting theory.
Look, I think if Trump goes into Iran and does a war with them, that's it. I think any credibility that Trump is not part of the deep state's over. And the thing is, too, it's really dangerous to go into Iran because I reckon that pulls in China and Russia.
It does.
And then a war like that, going into Iran, I think it'll be the first time that bombs actually fall in American soil. I think that'll be serious. Like, they really shouldn't do it.
No. It'll be interesting to find out if Trump manages to pull them back up the 11th hour like he normally does.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. The thing is that Netanyahu really wants this war. So, yeah.
And the deep state really wants it.
Can blame that in. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, we do have a video here. Let's check it out. You won't be able to hear it. It's only 51 seconds, but I'll summarize it for you at the end so you know what it's talking.
I think it's terrible. You want to know the truth? I think it's a disgrace. What's going on in this country, I think it's a disgrace. The memo was sent to Congress. It was declassified. Congress will do whatever they're going to do. But I think it's a disgrace what's happening in our country. And when you look at that, and you see that, and so many other things, what's going on, a lot of people should be ashamed of themselves, and much worse than that. So I sent it over to Congress. They will do what they're going to do. Whatever they do is fine. It was declassified. And let's see what happens. But a lot of people should be ashamed. Thank you very much.
Are you not concerned that the FBI doesn't want the memo out?
Thank you very much.
make you more likely to fire Rosenstein? Do you still have confidence in him after reading the memo?
You figure that one out.
That's interesting. She just asked, did you fire Rod Rosenstein because of the memo? I think she just said that. He said you figure that one out.
You figure.
Rosenstein? Do you still have confidence in him after reading the memo? To make you more likely to fire Rosenstein? Do you still have confidence in him after reading the memo?
Something about, would you fire Rodstein, or do you have confidence in him, or something like that, she says. So basically in this video, he's calling it a disgrace. He says that he sent the unclassified memo to Congress, and they're going to do with it what they do. But he literally said it was a disgrace about 5 times.
Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's
yeah. It's, and I like it. I think it's funny when he does it.
Yeah.
They did a terrible, terrible thing. It was
they
terrible.
were bad. They were very, very bad. All right, bad people.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, this is
miserable. Just miserable.
I don't want to play it up too much, but this is pretty big, guys. This is pretty big. This confirms that the Democrats paid for the Pfizer, paid for the paid for the Christopher Steele dossier. They then used that fake dossier to go through and to spy on Trump campaign, and did not once disclose the whole time that it was opposition research from the Democratic Party or that they were paid from the DNC. This is bad, and there should be heads rolling over this.
Yeah. There was something that one of the, I don't remember which person it was in the chat who said that, was while we're talking about this unclassified thing, meanwhile there was something horrible happening. Oh man. I have to go back through it. Like, is this a distraction?
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through it now. More distraction to divert your attention from the rest of the corruption in every country, from the judges to the heads of intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know about that checkpoint. Yeah, I'm still thankful he got elected and still Hillary Rodham Clinton, because I don't think we would have gone through and found half this shit up.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? If Trump is... The chat has been so red-pilled for the last 5 minutes. It's been crazy in there. Oh my God, there's so much of that stuff we cannot say on air. Oh my God. But, I mean, one thing is true, right? Love him or hate him, it was a lot better than getting HRC in. Yeah. And
look, I don't like Trump's foreign policies. I don't. I like his domestic policies. I don't like his foreign policies. I do think at the end of the day that the warmongers that are in position in his cabinet, they're the ones that are calling most of the shots when it comes to sending troops and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day that Trump does... It's not micromanage. What is it when you allow your workers to go through and to... I think he delegates. And I think of a lot of people that he's delegated to deep state. I don't know if he knows they're deep state, or if he suspects them and he's just keeping them close by because, you know, friends closer, enemies closer. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I want to see movement on this. Okay, it's good that we got the Pfizer memo. Fine, it's great, but let's see some actual movement. Let's see people arrested. Let's see people locked up. Let's see people charged. And that's what I want to see. And not some low-level peon. I want to see people like Hillary Clinton, James Clapper, James Comey, all these guys. I want to see them in handcuffs being led away. That's what I want. That would, yeah. Suicide weekend coming up. Yeah.
Now, there was a comment there earlier, right? and this is something that a theory that I have heard in my circles get thrown around quite a bit, is that Trump is placed there like every other president or whatever. Like the elections are a front, and Trump was pre-selected to be the president. Like, everything is a dog and pony show. Hillary Clinton, everything around that was all dog and pony show. Everything is just one big circus. And we're meant to think that Trump is on our side while he's doing his wheelies and dealings, like every other president. No one is actually elected. It's all a pre-programmed show.
But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, though.
Do you think elections are real? I mean, are they real? You think?
Some situations they are, but most of them they're not.
So if you would think what would stop the American elections from being a dog and pony show, do you think that... Yeah.
So I think Trump... So what I think happened, right? Trump put his hand up to run as president. And they turned around and they laughed and they scoffed and they thought, whatever. Right? And they wanted their candidates, their Ted Cruz's and all these sort of guys to run. Because they can manipulate them. They can get them to do what they want, the deep state, that is. But here's the thing. Trump beat them all. And then when it came up to, when Trump was knocking them off the patio and he was winning after winning after winning, I think they started getting scared. And that's when they needed they needed a plan, to as a but they needed a plan where in case he wins, and this is what this FISA warrant is. It is a backup plan in case Trump does the unthinkable and wins the election. I don't think the deep state wants Trump there. I don't think the deep state ever wanted Trump there. Because what's he done wrong in his past? He's banged a few hookers, porn stars, and got himself in and out of debt. Whoop-de-freaking do. Really? Has he done anything considered to there's been politicians in the past that have been, that have had bodies in their cars, and the female, a female counterpart, and she was trapped in the car and the car drowned. The girl drowned in the car. I think it was Robert Kennedy who did this. He was driving home, had an accident, passenger in the car was female, the car ran into a dam, he got out, she didn't, and they covered it up, or tried to cover it up.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to get super conspiratorial about it, you could always say that they're planning this, 20 years in advance. That they're like, who's the next president in 20 years? Oh, it'll be, Donald Trump. So, I don't know. You could get super conspiratorial about it. But I don't know, a little bit of common sense, maybe not everything is a conspiracy. And remember another thing, the king of, conspiracies and whatnot, Alex Jones, he's even come out and look, there's people who are going to say, oh, he's bought and paid for now. I don't know, he mentioned that even in his own audience, people have lost their minds.
Yeah.
Over some of this stuff. And
I've seen that.
I don't know.
Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that. People have lost their minds, and I've personally lost my mind a bit. Thinking that everything is one big conspiracy.
Yeah, it's easy to do when you sit there and you start going through and you start realizing that the government is hiding things. That the government is covering up. Then at the end of the day, it's easy to sit there and think.
I mean, yeah. And you're probably already well and properly demonetized, so, why bother with anything? Look at 9/11. I mean, we still don't have any real disclosure around that one, but we know that things were heavily covered up with that.
Oh, yeah.
The Pentagon, the part of the Pentagon that was hit, it just so happens that's where some paperwork was about a few $1 billion in black projects to cover up. So it's easy to fall down the rabbit hole. And like Checkpoint says, in the best case scenario, it might be a democratic coup. It's possible. I mean, using the media, like, let's say the election's real, but we could use the media to manipulate people to vote a certain way. And then you could do things because the traffic lights are computerized. So you could make it really hard for people to get to certain areas to vote a certain candidate. Yeah, there's a lot of manipulations you can do. Oh, it just so happens that a train derailed here, or this train just broke down and now no one can get to vote Trump or Hillary at this particular place. There's so many ways you can play the game.
Yeah, like you look at the Australian election, like for example, we had ScoMo up against who's the other one again? But at the end of the day, like you look at them, they're both establishment. That to me is a false election. That's what I mean.
Well, the
by
Australian
false.
elections are always a falsity. I agree. I don't think there's anything.
Like, there's a reason why they come out and deliberately slander Pauline Hanson every time she goes to run. We saw it in this election too. They were even more vicious this time than they were last time. Like, but anyway, we probably should wrap this up because we've been going for half an hour and I've got to upload this clip later. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Actually, 40 minutes. Holy dooly. Let us know what your thoughts are on this FISA warrant. Do you think at the end of the day that this is a good thing? Do you think anything will come out of this? Or do you think at the end of the day that this is just going to be another sort of thing? For some reason, my little raccoon is missing off the screen. Hey, come back. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments section.
What's he doing down there?
I have no idea. It's sort of... there we are. Okay, it's the alignment's come back on now. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that, guys, we'll jump into the next story.
I was just going to say, what you need to do is get a picture of, like, two ladies' legs and have them pointing up to each corner above them.
Oh, boy. All right. Okay, so NPR. Baby is not a baby until it's born. We're gonna smack through these guys because we've, like... I jokingly said to my parents today, this is going to be a 3-hour show. It's 2.5 hours already. Yeah. NPR, baby is not a...
it is compulsory in Australia.
Yes, it is, yep.
Compulsory voting.
NPR, baby is not a baby until it's born. Really? Okay. So does that mean that a baby that has to go through a birth canal or a C-section? Is that what they're claiming? Taxpayer-funded National Public Radio, NPR, has republished its style guide in the wake of recent abortion legislation, urging its staff to stick to language that does not accidentally humanize the unborn child, because why would you want to do that? Because we're trying to abort them, right? According to the guide, doctors are mistaken when they offer to show a pregnant woman a sonogram of her baby, since a baby is not a baby until it's born. Which is interesting because when you go for a sonogram, they say, do you want to see a sonogram of a baby? Regardless, NPR employees may not refer to a fetal heartbeat legislation. The guide declares because at 6 weeks, a heartbeat can be first detected. The mother is carrying an embryo and not a fetus. The NPR abortion language guide also forbids the use of the term partial birth abortion, since that is the term used by opponents. They should instead use the more accurate term enact dilation or extradition to describe the procedure.
Newspeak.
Yeah.
Newspeak.
Other banning terminology includes the expression of abortion clinics, abortion doctors, and unborn babies. The guide notes since they could possibly have negative connotations. The term unborn implies there is a baby inside a pregnant woman, not a fetus. Babies are not babies until they are born, it declares. This seems like they are trying to double down to go through and to hope that people do not get red-pilled on the fact that they are aborting babies.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
They change the terms so that it sounds better.
Yeah.
It's like, and you know what? They criticize people like us and everyone else here on alternative media for dog whistling. Okay?
Yeah, but they're dog whistling this whole article. Yeah. Yeah, this is dog whistling to the left.
Saying that, they're changing the words around to make it sound better. Well, that's exactly what Richard Spencer does, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how they always call out the dog whistling.
Freaking hypocrites.
Yeah. So a Canadian court tries to stop Alex Jones from covering trans child cases. Good luck with this. A Canadian court has tried to stop Alex Jones from focusing on trans child cases, which has quickly turned into a free speech battle. The case involves a father who opposed hormone therapy given to his child, who's under the age of 18, to help transition from female to male. And I tell you what, just because of the fact that they're doing this, let's go through and start recording. So let's start it again. Canadian court tries to stop Alex Jones from covering trans child cases. A Canadian court has tried to stop Alex Jones from focusing on trans child cases, which has quickly turned into a free speech battle. The case involves a father opposing hormone replacement therapy given to his child, who's under the age of 18, to help transition from female to male. This puts him at odds with the child's mother and psychologists who support the treatments, accumulating into a legal battle over parental rights. But now it seems the case is turning into a battle over free speech. In particular, the British Columbia Court has ordered the father to stop publicly discussing the case because his speech, the court determines, constitutes family violence. The father's lawyers allege the gag order intended to stop the father from talking to the media as draconian and said that they would file an appeal. We'll make the submission on freedom of expression, freedom of thought and opinion, freedom of consistence in this matter, said the lawyers. Alex Jones also received a letter from the court demanding that InfoWars not link to a public available court document which has been retroactively censored by the judge despite having been on the internet for nearly 2 months before the judge's ruling. It would be a real big bummer if I was to put a link in the document.
And this is something that has to be settled, is this idea that words are violence. They're just not. And freedom of speech, well, I mean, what they're doing is they do this every single time.
Yeah.
They only censor one side of the debate. Yeah.
So in case, I haven't gone through and screwed over the Canadian law as it is already, legal dispute between trans child and father takes a new turn over freedom of expression. A messy legal dispute between a 14-year-old transgender boy and his father, who rejects the child's gender identity, has expanded into a freedom of expression. In recent discussion, a BBC Supreme Court ordered the father stop publicly discussing the case after finding some of his actions, including interviews with conservative media outlets, exposed his child to significant harm and constituted family violence. But the family's lawyer says the restraining order is draconian, blah, 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 blah. We've already read this, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe I should cover this as a news story. You reckon that would piss them off enough?
If you want, you can do that.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, go Alex. That's all I got to say. This is why I like him. People say, why do you like Alex Jones? Because of this. There is only a few people that generally will stick up for freedom of speech. He is one of them. Him, me, Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, but he didn't really come out to bat for people who were being censored before him. I think they finally came for him. Now he gets it.
True.
A lot of the big guys ignored what was going on, or I don't know, maybe they just didn't notice. I don't know.
No, they did notice because I sent them messages regarding it.
Okay, and they just didn't really do anything about it.
No,
they thought they were too big to be censored. Well, okay.
Yeah, true.
But Alex was the he was a test case.
Yeah.
If they can bring him down, they can start bringing down everyone else.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I don't know. Look, all I'm going to say is go, Alex. Hope you do well, man. And I hope this father wins the case.
Yeah. I think I do hope he wins the case on topic. Because I actually think it's child abuse to do these therapies before they're 18.
Yeah.
And even then, honestly, the reproductive system is not 100% done, even then. And definitely not mentally. That's not until you're 25, 26. Mate, you know what? One of the things that I think is going to be interesting is in 10 years from now, how many lawsuits and craziness is going to come out from all these people who went through all of this stuff now in their teenage years. It's going to be nuts.
Checkpoint, in regards to that, he is on syndicated radio, man. So, you know, like, for example, if we had someone that came on and was doing a live show with us and started spouting something like alt-right views, we would have to terminate them as well. I don't like censoring people, but the fact is that, like, for example, like, there's a difference between what you guys type in chat and what we actually have on the air.
There has to be that, yeah.
And I mean, also, he's on syndicated radio, which is worse than YouTube, man, when it comes to that sort of stuff, too.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, there are ways, you've probably been seeing it through the show, Checkpoint. I will say something and it's like, you get what I'm getting at, and I just don't actually say it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get a hit piece done about me from today, aren't I? Anyway, boy. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Canada can suck my dick. Beto O'Rourke praises the universal background check that failed to stop shootings. Democrat presidential hopeful Robert Francis, or Beto O'Rourke, praised universal background checks on Tuesday, but did not acknowledge such checks failed to stop May 7th, 2019 STEM shooting Highlands Ranch shooting. Oh, by the way, when I say Canada, I mean the politics, not the people. I love the Canadian people. The shooting occurred in Colorado, which has universal background checks in place since 2013. He also neglected to note that universal background checks failed to prevent the April 27th, 2019 San Diego synagogue shooting. California has had universal background checks since the early 1990s. Big fucking surprise. I'm not real worried about Beto O'Rourke. I think he's not going to do very well in this next election when it comes to the Democrats. So I think he's pretty much dead. Like, he literally had to, quote, re-jumpstart his campaign. That's not a good thing. So, Pornhub unveils boneless bathing suits. I'm going to record this because this sort of stuff...
What?
Well, this sort of stuff is good because it allows us to go through and to sort of, you know, get monetized, believe it or not. Pornhub unveils its boneless bathing suits to prevent unwanted public erections. So just when you thought you'd seen it all in the world of fashion, along comes a product that changes everything. Cure the boneless bathing suit.
Oh, bonerless.
Bonerless, yeah. So getting an unwanted erection in public is every man's worst nightmare, but an indigenous piece of new technology could make them a thing of the past. That's because the adult entertainment website Pornhub has launched a limited edition bonerless bathing suit. equipped with a special lining to help conceal protruding body parts. You know what we're talking about. They come complete with special built-in lining made from 100% Lycra, which is designed to hold down your member without strangling it or making it uncomfortable.
When I was in high school, what I used to do was I got really good at it. I used to be able to just tuck it under my belt. Like, it would be pointing up, and I would just tuck it under my belt. I got really good at doing that.
Alright, that's way too much information, but thank you for sharing. We work hard on the development of this first of its kind bathing suit that should help ease comfort. You mean discomfort? Should help ease comfort and increase enjoyment for the most masterful of bathers and water spouts amateurs alike, Pornhub Vice President Corey Price told Men's Health. Is this a troll? If you're generally interested in the groundbreaking swimmers, they will set you back a cheeky but hefty $69.69 in the US. Really? 69? Really? See what they did there. That translates to more than $100 US. Aussie. But who are we to judge when you spend your money on? And if that's ridiculous, but catchy stuff, surf rocks, advertise don't convince you to invest in a pair, nothing will. We actually have an ad that's on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I can play it.
It's been an endless winter, but spring break has finally arrived. Waves are breaking in the air, it's clear, can you feel the good vibes? Grab your shades, your surfboard, and let's have some fun. There's a groovy beach party under the sun. Hit your to the beach, there is no time to lose. It's full of bodies dancing, there's nothing better that you could choose. But the tide starts to rise and so do you. There is nothing much you can do. You've got beach boner blues. Try to stay in cold water all day long. There's no way to get out with that dog. Focus on that old man and his thumb. If it doesn't work, you'll have to cut it off.
Off for a lot.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm playing.
Wait! Is that Pornhub's bathing suit with the bonerless technology that everyone's been talking about? Dude, you bet they are. I love them! Oh man, that's totally rad.
I can't believe that the answer to my prayers is finally here. No more inconvenient hard-ons, I am living a dream. Now we can set bonfires and jam every night. This will be the season of our lives. 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Ricky, man, pick up your phone, dude. I'm down at Sunnyside Beach and the babes are totally out. And get this, man, I don't even have a boner. Well, I got one, but they can't see it. It's awesome, dude. We've been riding the waves. We got some cold brewskis. Come on down, dude. We'll be here all day.
Okay. I have recorded it, so if you want the unbuffered version, it will be available later. I will also link to the Pornhub video if you want to watch it on YouTube for whatever floats your boat. It's YouTube. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about the song. I don't know about putting the Pornhub tag on the actual sport, the shorts. I don't think that is a... Because people are going to know what it is. Like, they're going to know, oh, that's the bone of this. Yeah, I don't know. It could be a good way to pick up chicks at the beach. Maybe they'll start talking about the shorts.
I promote self-control. So, I mean, one of the things is that as a teenager, sure, you might have issues not getting one when the hot chick in a short skirt walks past because, you know, screw the school's uniform code. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, by the time I was like 17, 18, I had self-control where no matter how much it wants to get up, you just keep it down. You know, you learn that thing, you know, whoosh, down, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. I don't know.
Well, no, you don't want to touch it. Okay.
No.
I understand.
Look, worst case scenario, tape. It's what guys at college do. They tape it down. So
$70 is not worth it.
I don't know if
it's not $70. It's $69.69.
Well, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know if $100 for a pair of board shorts is worth it. To be honest, it is very expensive. So,
yep.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. I think at the end of the day, yeah. Good luck, Pornhub. Yeah, but I don't know. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Are the shorts too dear? Would you like to go through and buy them? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think it'll take off? Do you think chicks are going to go like, hey, they're the boneless shorts, and then try and chat to you and you can chat them up and then show them how the shorts work, maybe? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. All right.
Yeah, just walk up to a tripwire and just poke. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. All right, so let's smash through these because it's like really, really getting late. Trump's desperate campaign to hide his finances starts to unravel, says mainstream media, who's literally ran every conspiracy theory before. When Donald Trump and his team refused to share information about the president's financial history with the Congress, Democrat lawmakers started looking at alternative routes to the same goal. In late April, House Intelligence and Finance Services Committees issued subpoenas to financial institutions, including Deutsche Bank, to obtain the materials Trump is desperate to hide. I think Trump is playing them. I don't think Trump really gives two shits about his finances. Wells Fargo, TG Bank, and have already given Trump-related financial documents to the Congress. So a key congressional committee has already gained access to President Trump's dealings with two major financial institutions. Two sources familiar with the House probe tell NBC News. Oh my God, it's another anonymous source. What do you think? Yay or nay?
Nah. He's got no. There's nothing there. The taxes thing is a nothing burger. Didn't we cover this like a week ago?
Yeah.
I mean, they release information. It's like, yeah, it was in his documentary or something.
Look, presuming that this anonymous source, and there's a very big presuming here, presuming the anonymous source is correct, presuming that these Wells Fargo and these other banks have given out their information, I don't think Trump gives two shits. To be honest, I think Trump is trolling them by making them look like morons by running after this sort of stuff, thinking, oh my God, he's got something to hide. Let's go after it. And then they keep going after this sort of stuff and finding absolutely nothing.
He's putting up roadblocks to make
Distract
it look
them.
like there's something, so they chase it, but there's nothing there.
Exactly. Yeah. 4D chess.
A troll in chief. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think it is. It's like, oh no, please don't look into my finances. In fact, I might even go through and put up some roadblocks. And this is presuming that this anonymous source is correct. Chances are, probably not, because they don't have a real good history when it comes to that sort of stuff. So I would say, look, well, he was involved in money laundering with his real estate and Russian mobsters. I don't know about that, man. I don't know if that was actually been proven or if that's just a theory. I'd like to see information on that, but yeah. Colluding drug firms. I'm presuming if Trump has done money laundering by now, he would have been in jail or arrested or whatever. Colluding drug firms. You never know.
Sorry? I don't know, man. There's a lot of shady things that have gone on. Like, remember the Panama Papers?
Yeah, but dude, this money laundering wasn't from now. It was from like back in the day.
I know.
Yeah.
Look, if there was any money laundering, then hopefully it gets found out. If there wasn't, then yeah. But yeah. I don't know.
Look, at the end of the day, the fact is that you keep going on about Panama Papers. That's deep state trying to protect deep state. Trump isn't deep state. He's against them. I really do believe that.
I'm still not 100% sure on that.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Every time I've said statements like this, I've been right in the past.
For the most part, yeah, you have.
So,
Oleg Deripaska.
What was that, sorry?
Name. No, Google a name. What is that? Oleg Deripaska.
Alright, while we're doing that, colluding drug firms cost the NHS millions of pounds. Obviously, this is over in the UK. 4 pharmaceutical firms have been accused of allegedly colluding to restrict the supply of anti-nausea tablet, driving the price paid by the NHS up by 700%. Olive Duska is a Russian oligarch. He's a aluminum magnate and philanthropist.
And that thing about NHS, yeah, it's pretty common for the pharmaceuticals to ramp up prices because they know that it's not the customer that has to pay for it. They just get more money out of the government.
Yeah. I can't see anything on... I can't see anything on Trump being accused of money laundering, so yeah. I'll have to have a decent look for it. Let's keep going because we're running out of time. FBI has seen significant rise in white supremacist documented terrorism in recent months, says CNN. The FBI has seen a significant rise in the number of white supremacist documented terrorism cases in the recent month, a senior FBI counterterrorism official said on Thursday. The official said that FBI has began grappling with the rise of domestic threats while internal terrorist threats have remained constant. International, sorry. With the fall of ISIS caliphate in Syria. Well, if ISIS has gone down, wouldn't the international terrorist threats drop? That would be my question. The domestic terrorist causes generally include suspects involved in violence related to anti-government views, radical or religious bias. I wonder who the anti-government views are.
Well, you're going to see a rise in all kinds of terrorist activity, and Christchurch is one of those. It's backlash. I mean, the cultural war in America is ramping up. It's not going down; it's going up.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, I don't blame the FBI for being worried about it. I mean, you're watching your nation, break down at the seams, and atomization of people and all this sort of thing. I'm sure it's scary.
But it's not just that. But also at the end of the day, they've also gone through and they've got more people reporting on these cases as well. So it's not just the fact that cases are going up, but also more people are reporting on them. But also that this claims that it's it's white supremacy, right? Well, it's not really, because they say in this that it's actual anti-government views, radical views, or religious based. This is not white supremacy.
No, that's not. That's not white supremacy. Anti-government. That's the left.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. But yeah. But what I was going to say was But at the end of the day, yeah, that was me playing around with the phone. But yeah, this is left. This is Antifa and whatnot.
Yeah, that's it. So CNN, why would they try to paint it as white supremacy? Oh, shocker.
Yeah, are you that surprised?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? People will go through and people will just read the headline and they won't read that next thing.
Exactly. And I mean, AOC, well, maybe the FBI should be visiting AOC, because she's been instigating a lot of this crap around her base. And there's plenty of it going on with, all the other people, like the Young Turks and all them, riling up people.
Yeah. And not only that, but, like at the end of the day, why would Trump's base be the ones that are currently white supremacists? Why would they be the anti-government at the moment? It's literally their guy in power. To be anti-government when you're pro-Trump is counterproductive.
Well, okay. Let's break that down a bit. You would be pro-Trump but anti-government, and that could happen if you're like anti the deep state, right? So it's like you're anti-government because of the swamp, but you would be pro-Trump. Maybe that's a way to put it.
But at the end of the day, that's not what's actually happening here, though, is it?
No, I was just sort of like breaking down what you said. That's all.
Yeah, like to me, this is more a case of them, for example, going through, and actually, this is more like Antifa, the far left, all these sort of guys who are going through and doing this shit. This is not Trump's. Like, if you want to make it the case that it's white supremacy and stuff like that, then maybe you can make the case that it's the alt-right. But let's face it, which side do you think is having more attacks right now? The alt-right or the alt-left?
Definitely the left is attacking and breaking things more often,
Yeah. But this is obviously, look, this is a CNN article, right? So I'm not surprised that they're slightly misleading when it comes to the headline. Because what they're hoping is that people, like I said, won't read this full article. That people will go through and say, hey, it's white supremacy, and I'm just going to believe everything that I get told because it's CNN and I just read headlines and I don't read the whole story.
Well, I mean, there is a truism in the sense, and this is not white supremacy, this is conservatives, but conservatives believe in small government. They're not anti-establishment, they're just small government. Right. Which plays into that whole thing about like being pro-Trump, but not pro the whole mess of big government that they have, Right. It's not really anti-establishment, it's people who are more anti-establishment are those like anarchists and stuff.
Yeah,
they're the hard left. Antifa,
yeah. Like, if we had to go through and make a list of everybody that's done a domestic, and they use domestic terrorism in here, so they're obviously talking about the Americans. If we went through and made a list of everybody that did domestic terrorism in the US in the past 3 years since Trump has been elected, I imagine the biggest thing that we will see is Antifa, the far left.
Yeah.
So but anyway, in case you guys are wondering why I sound different, my cat was really bugging the crap out of me, and he just constantly outside. So I just switched to the mobile for 5 seconds. But yeah.
I'm back now. Yeah.
But guys, I don't know.
Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below.
Apart from that, let's keep going. So, I'm gay, Mormon Republican lawmaker in Utah comes out. I don't think anyone is really going to care that much about this, but anyway. You can be gay and a Republican. You need to trust that people will love you for who you really are. Utah County Commissioner Nathan Ethe said. Do you care if he's a gay Mormon Republican?
A gay Mormon?
Yeah, apparently.
That can't exist.
Well, I'm looking at a gay Republican Mormon.
Okay, sure. Just because if I say that I identify as an attack helicopter, does that actually make me a Black Hawk attack helicopter?
Depends. Can you do the whoosh, whoosh, whoosh sound really convincing?
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really convincing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Look,
okay.
I don't know. Is the Mormon Church generally is against the gays or against homosexuality?
My understanding is, I mean, the Mormon is so strict that you can't even have sex before marriage and be a Mormon.
True.
Like, it's that full on.
True. Have you seen the Mormon porn that's on, like, the Pornhub videos and stuff?
Mormon porn?
Yeah.
Are they fully clothed?
No. No, they're really not. They're really not very good Mormons at all whatsoever.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Man, you can go on Pornhub and find categories that just make you cringe. But anyway.
Mm.
Like,
I have to send you a link to a Star Wars one. But anyway.
Oh, gosh. The stats on there are pretty bad, though. Like, I was really like, oh, God, society has fallen so far. Since the most popular stuff on there is, like, you know, mother-daughter, father-son, mother-son, and sister-brother. Like, what the hell's wrong with society?
Yeah, I don't know how boning your mum is an appealing search. Like, dude, my mum fucking runs the Bird Woman rally. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, daughter, I could, I don't like it, but I could understand that. Sister, I could, you know, like, dude, she's fit, right? Like, chances are, presuming she's fit. How many sound bites do I have to get to having a hate campaign written against me today?
Yeah, I think you're doing pretty well in this stream. There's so much you can take out of context.
This is why we don't do 4-hour streams. But, you know, look, at the end of the day, you know, I'm just moving on. All right.
My headset's down to 25%.
Yeah, we've got 3 articles left and 2 are about Vodafone. Panasonic scrutinizes relationship with Hawaii. I'm getting that wrong. Japan's Panasonic has said it scrutinizes whether any of its products break the US restrictions on trading with Hawaii. I'm getting that wrong still. Last week, the US patented Hawaii on a list of companies that American firms cannot trade with unless they have a license. The restriction made an escalation in the US effort to block Hawaii, which it says poses a security risk. Panasonic.
I'm sitting here just yelling in silence. Okay. Huawei.
Panasonic. Huawei. Whatever it may be. Panasonic announced in an internal notification that it should suspend transactions with Hawaii, and its 68 affiliates were banned by the US government, the firm said in a statement provided to the BBC. So now here's the thing. You don't know if I'm deliberately missaying it, because I just want to stir you.
Vaping intensifies.
Yeah, alright. But obviously a thing about this is Vodafone has, and this is something that you've shown, Vodafone finds hidden backdoors.
Vodafone. You're just doing it to stir me now. You really are.
I might or might not be. Vodafone finds hidden backdoors in Hawaii networking equipment. As Hawaii denies Microsoft allegations that it discovers what appears to be a backdoor built into the MateBook laptop series, Bloomberg on Tuesday reports on complaints from Vodafone, Europe's largest wireless provider, about the discovery of what appears to be backdoors discovered in Hawaii equipment embedded in Vodafone's Italian wireless network. Yeah, Ellie, we actually talked about that. We talked about that earlier, so there'll be a video up about that too.
And that name is so Ellen. No, I'm trolling you.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, and the last story for the day, because I do have to get going. 50 children saved as international pedophile. Why?
You've lost the ability to speak.
Who? What?
You.
Yeah.
You've lost the ability to speak.
My throat's getting sore. It's getting all dry. 50 children are saved as international pedophile ring has been busted. So just in case we haven't been demonetized enough today, 50 children have been rescued and 9 people arrested in an Interpol investigation into the international pedophile ring. The arrests were made in Thailand, Australia, and the US, more expected, Interpol says. The investigation began in 2017 and focused on a hidden dark website with 63,000 users worldwide. Holy shit, that's a lot.
Wow. That's a lot, yeah. That's one of those, like, dark web snuff sites or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Police believe 100 more children have suffered abuse and were working to identify them. Operation Black Wrist was launched by Interpol after it detected images showing 11 boys under the age of 13 being abused on a site where people could use encryption software to maintain secrecy. Good on them. Lock the bastards up.
Yep.
So
something strange has occurred. I've noticed that some people have commented in the live chat, but they're behind, like way behind other people.
Yeah.
So it seems like Trip is probably like 10 minutes ago at the moment.
Yeah. Guys, make sure that
what YouTube's doing.
Make sure that the live light, make sure the light is on, because I know I have to keep going through and having to keep pushing it, because it's like there's like buffering or whatever it may be, causes it to slow down. Yeah. As for the bell icon, it's supposedly a thing. I don't know if you get notified anymore, to be honest, with my channel. The best thing, guys, is I'm going to use this to boost my own thing. We do have a website now, Nonpartisan Media. We'll put it on the screen. Where you can actually...
Let me drop a link in the chat.
Yeah, where you can actually go through and it will actually send out a media... sorry. Don't try and talk at the same time. It'll actually go through and actually send out an email once a day that actually tells you what the stories are that get uploaded to the YouTube channel. It's directly linked to the YouTube channel. So yeah, it will go through and say, hey, these are the stories that were published today, and it sends out an email every day. So you just go to here, the email subscriptions, type blah@blah.com, or obviously your real email address. Hit subscribe, and that will then subscribe you to the list. And yeah, basically this will have every video that gets published. It's all linked. They won't hear that for 10 minutes. But yeah, this is a prototype because we do have a bigger plan regarding that. That won't tell you when we go live at the minute, but at the very least you will know what videos we uploaded on that day. So the live show will be listed, and then any extracts that we put up, like today we're going to put up about the Pfizer thing, we're going to talk about European election, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. They're all going to be separate videos, so yeah.
oh, your site's kind of cool, but you might want to put a little button at the top and you can set it to dark mode.
Yeah, I'd have to put a new skin on.
I'm just trolling you, but yeah. It's a 4chan meme. Everything has to have dark mode.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been on 4chan in a while, so yeah.
Yeah, I've taken an interest in it again since there's been some pretty cool stuff up on there lately.
Yeah. All right. Apart from that, guys.
WTF?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah. All right. Apart from that, guys, look, thank you everybody who has come to the show. Thank you everybody who's going to do the hit piece on me later today. I appreciate it because some of the topics that we have been covering. Oh yeah, I just got an email notification.
I mean, I have a wonderful joke, but I can't say it.
Apart from that, guys, obviously we'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station, and who knows? Yeah, hopefully. Also, guys, at the end of the day, obviously, if you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Big shout out to everybody who has been sitting through this whole show. It has gone for over 3 hours.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, why have you sat through this whole show for 3 hours? I have no idea. Like I say, guys, if you missed any of the stories, obviously we'll upload them in a minute. So that'll probably be later today by the time my internet gets around to it. Apart from that, guys, anything you want to say before you leave?
Yeah, just thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And Trip, in about 10 minutes, you'll catch up. All right. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's just the buffering. I know how it is. You get backed up.
Oh no, he is talking about the pedophile. So now he's only 5 minutes behind. Alright. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Time's listed down on the little scroll for the live show. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy.
Screw Epstein.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. How do I hit the stop button again?